All right, Israel. So we're back. So I put this picture together. Very well done. It's a perfect description of what I'm going to show you Huldah is. Right? I said it again. Queen of darkness, queen of light on the top of a mountain. Come, I invite you to follow me. And this is a picture of a Medusa at the end of the day, a broken woman, very beautiful. This one. I told you what she liked to be, a frog. But yes, when you put makeup on and eyelashes and the hair and the big and the loud and all that, your lips all, you can be, anybody can be sexy. You can make a pig sexy when you put lipstick on them and earrings, right? Anybody can be sexy. And so this woman is portraying to be the priestess on a high mountain that they should come and serve or worship. A lot of things in Greek mythology, I'll tell you about, I forget, I believe it's Athena, I'm not sure if it's that, but one of the things this is true, I'm not talking about mythology though, we know that they had female priestesses that they would set up as virgins or be purified in temples, and they would become women, witches, to the gods. I'm using the gods or the fallen powers, right? They would become the wives of such things, right? But in the scripture, it also tells you, even though the Romans had set these women up to be purified, that no man should touch them. A lot of them were raped, actually, and broken. This is where nunnery comes from. A lot of broken women become nuns, right? And they put on these white robes to look sanctified. But underneath, they're serpents. Right underneath, she got a tail that's ready to bite you, and she's waiting for you to lift up her skirt. Literally, that's Huldah, and to see what's underneath there, and you gonna get bit. I called this woman a whore from the beginning, an adulterer. Not that Yoshi is any different. He's a pimp. He's all of that. But I know some things. Y'all call me a false accuser and everything, but I know what y'all showed me. But we got proof. We got witnesses to the very thing that I said about this woman. Right? But we're going to go through it. We're going to expose her truth and her hypocrisy as she speaks very proudly as the queen of heaven on the top of her mountain to establish her own kingdom in the clouds. All right. So before I get on Huldah, I want you to know the circumstances. This is an abomination right here. Right here. You know who this is. Yeah. But you didn't even recognize, when I just pulled it up, you was like, who is that? You're like, why am I pulling this up? What does this got to do with Huldah?
They got everything to do with Huldah. No. You want me? So, her name is Lauren.
Lauren, say hello. Hey, hey, hey. This is Lolo. It's your girl, Lauren Nefesha.
She went by Lauren Nefesha. Now she goes by, I believe it's Ruth Nefesha, I don't know. They change their names often. And when Huldah when I first met her, Lauren, she gave me lesbian vibes. Not tomboy vibes, but lesbian vibes. And so that was neither here nor there at the time, but that's all on the table today. Huldah and I were close. We were going a friendship that she was telling me a lot about herself, and I was telling her a lot about myself, personal things, things that I realize now I should have never done because ultimately it was used against me. But in total, the reason why she comes up is because Huldah told me, grabbing her phone, showing me, she said, look at this girl right here. And I look and I'm like, well, that's obviously a dyke. That's obviously a gay girl. You know, I think she showed me a video of her like playing basketball or something. She was actually a pretty girl, but she was nonetheless gay. And I was confused, like, why are you showing me? Well, you know, she emailed me and she wants to know about the truth, right? And she starts going into a conversation with me about wanting to know, being curious about, and wanting to inquire what lesbianism is. she wanted to know what it was. And I'm like, well, why do you want to know what it is? Well, I just want to know because one, she tries to use her intellect, the fact that she's out for knowledge and she wants to know truth, right? And she's thinking by going and finding out about all these things that it's good. But she befriended very closely and very quickly, grew a bond with this I call, well,
That's not a he, she. That's
yeah.
no, that's an abomination.
And to see this come around like this shows me, like Talia is mentioning, it was very intentional of her befriending her, because actually Huldah didn't like her in the very beginning. She spoke very ill about her. She thought she was, you know what girls, not on her level, right? That's how she spoke about her. And to see actually how close they are, it kind of reminds. They're pretty close. I mean, at this point, they're living on land together.
Mm-hmm. They become partnerships and so-called best friends, right? So this thing, Lauren Nefessa. Listen, I know what it is. I know. Go ahead. Hold on.
I have to say,
Go ahead.
when I first, like you, Malcolm, when I first met them in Tobago at this resort, as soon as Lauren popped up off the couch, I was like, oh. And I was just confused. And it just looked like the whole scenario just looked confusing. And as time went on, I began to feel strange around those two, which just speaks to their relationship and how close they are, almost like a third wheel. It was very uncomfortable. And that's how I'm sure a lot of other people felt, but I can speak for myself. It was very uncomfortable. And yeah.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Like I said, you didn't recognize her.
When I first met Lauren, she looked real feminine. And she was our,
I was going to say, she was not necessarily feminine, right? Because she had hair.
She had hair. Yeah, she did.
She wore makeup.
Right, she did.
She walked her like a hippie makeup. Like a hippie.
Right,
But she was still,
She was still tomboy.
yeah.
yeah.
And-
was still.
Anyway, Huldah had a spot on her property, on her land, where she built her like a hut or something on her.
That's in this
And-
testimony. Y'all can go back
Okay.
and watch it.
Okay,
She does tell
on the
testimony,
farm.
but she does not attribute who bought the. She's not mentioning Huldah. She's telling the story. She's telling her story here of her journey, but her journey was all in pursuit of Huldah, actually from beginning to end, without mentioning Huldah's name. She's trying to act like it was on a pursuit of Yah, the feast days and everything. So she's choreographed this very well. And she's speaking as if she's separate from Huldah, but Huldah built her that house for her to come live with them.
Well, one last thing too. Yoshi and Huldah has set themselves up to be like a hub of people coming in and either staying with them or moving literally from across the state to live right around the corner from them. From married couples to single people, it ended up being that. And I thought that was really strange, but I was trying to understand it from the sense of community, because that's what they kept speaking about. But to befriend someone the way that she did with Lauren, it left a lot of speculation. You couldn't ignore it because you knew, one, that Yoshi and Huldah, they didn't like each other. They had some rivalry going on. It was very, like she mentioned, it was uncomfortable and it was obvious. And so Huldah was kind of pulling away from Yoshi every now and again to gain people, to grow a posse. And her mom was a part of that. Huldah would try to befriend people who were talented, people who were beautiful, people who were even so much as to say famous. And so, Lauren, she came in with the sense of like artistry, doing mosaics and art and everything like that. And that's one of the things that they actually put apart as their ministry. But again, it was to sell. It was to sell things. It had nothing to do with righteousness.
So why does she look like a walking abomination? She has created an excuse of holiness to justify looking like this. So she calls herself a Nazar, that she's taking the vow of a Nazar. And so she's at the top of this mountain, either her have with y'all money, right, with the money they've been begging for the whole time that you're gonna find out Huldah was broken, built this woman a little prairie house on the prairie on the old land.
I lived in a very tiny house, barn style house, when I first moved to California. So this is my tiny house. After moving to California in February 2019, this house was actually built for me to live in.
And then they took the rest of y'all money when they divorced from Yoshi, once she finally got her own money. And I'm saying her lover, whether it's spiritual or not, her lover, what they call each other's best friends, and went and bought 5 acres of land in another place for themselves, starting their own thing, the two of them. And she's bought RV, living on the land with Huldah, both of them together. And so in this video, I'm not gonna show the video, you just gotta see the image of this walking abomination, and no Nazarite would ever look like that. Now, she would say, well, my hair is cut because I messed up 3 times, I think she said, her vow. It ain't even been like 6 months yet that she made a mistake and drank some vinegar or alcohol or something that broke the vow. Messing around, hanging around with her family, but you're supposed to be set apart, right? Now, she started off with shaving her head, but a lot of people think that that's how you begin the vow of a Nazar. No, it's not. You don't shave your head at all until you finish the vow. The vow is not to let a razor touch your head. But people start off the vow of a Nazar shaving their head, which is breaking it before you even start it. Right? It's not true. And we know it's a shame for a woman to walk around like this. So somehow in the spirit world of her faithful oathfulness trying to figure this out, she done grew guns, right? They small, y'all. I know they look big on her. They like a handful, right? Looking as dykey as possible. She still wear makeup, y'all, right? This is a butch look. And she tattoos and everything. I don't know if she got a bra on, but man, this is straight up transgender. And she's built natural testosterone on top of that for over working out. I don't got nothing against working out by natural means of whatever it is that you do, right? But that's not natural guns on a woman. Standing alone. Her legs is just as skinny toothpick as they could be, right? Her veins are popping out like a man and everything, right? No muscles on her chest line, right? So it's cut all the way down there to look like a man, but she just got chest like a man, muscles and guns and bullets. And she somehow messes up her holiness vow of a Nazar, dedication, 3 times. It could be 2, but 3, to make an excuse to shave her head. And I'm telling you that the spirit world is wanting to shave her head so she can keep that look. An androgynous, dyke, she-him, lesbian look that attracts broken women, y'all. Because a lot of broken women are attracted to this kind of look. They want the man, but they want the sensitivity of a woman, right? Someone that would listen to them and speak to them and spoil. The women want that, right? Because in men, they have a feminine attribute and they have a male nature. And the balance of that is what women are looking for in a man. And so these women who have experienced lesbianism or homosexuality all their life, she's a professed so-called ex-dyke, right? And so here you go, Huldah, who is attracting broken women, curious about homosexuality, right? And so this is a ploy to attract a certain kind of a woman. And this is a walking abomination. I just spoke on this. And this spirit is going out claiming that they're holiness, and there's nothing holy about. And on top of this, she's become a professional beggar, just like Huldah and Yoshi. She's in this video. She had enough money out of your bank account, paying her for what? To read some books with Huldah. Right? To read some books with Huldah. To babysit her babies, because she didn't want to raise them, and Yoshi ain't around. Right? Then she got enough money for this thing, and now she's going to ask all of your followers, right, to buy everything on Amazon for her. There's her list. If you love her and support her and follow her, buy all this stuff for her, please, because I'm holy and I'm going to take you on my journey just like Huldah did. And I'm going to film my whole journey and let you experience my holiness, abominable behavior, while I beg for your money and continue to pay for it. So this is Huldah's new partner in crime. She dumped Yoshi, not to walk straight, but to partner up with a walking abomination and put an image out there to attract broken woman that's looking for love in all the wrong places. That's Lauren. So-called roof. Housewarming party on the top of the hill, right above Huldah. A walking abomination, y'all. Go ahead, you have something to say.
No, on first sight, when I saw the image of this thing in front of me, I actually didn't know what I was looking at. I assumed it was a man with a kind of Instagram effect that distorts the face to look like a woman. So when it was announced that this is actually, a dyke, I was surprised that she is actually female.
This is her. What is a Nazarite?
I'm sorry, wait. So in this, when I saw this, I actually had my mouth wide open and I was shocked of this blasphemy. She said it, right? Which was it's better not to take a vow than to take one and to break it. So this whole glamorizing of this Nazar vow, one, no one asked her to do this. This is once again, it's like a gimmick. It's a ploy. It is a merchandising, a profiting. The same way that Huldah has used Hebrew, the language of Hebrew, to prophetize herself, to monetize her books. The same way that Yoshi has used music to prophetize his ministry is the same way Talia spoke to it in the sense of she wants to be a dyke. She wants to be a lesbian. She wants to. They reverted back. She had a point in her walk where she acted like she liked men. She was actually betrothed at one point, and Huldah tried to hook her up, but that didn't work out. And so that was very telling also about what she was about and what was Huldah's hand in hers, right? But I'm looking at this and she looks alien to me. She looks like an extraterrestrial. She looks like a demon.
No, you know what? She look like Gandhi's twin sister. But Gandhi was a secret homosexual too, right? And all of this fasting and vow and holiness was to try to beat that demon that he could never beat, and kept doing. Y'all know that, right? Gandhi was a homosexual, down low. Yeah, same spirit, y'all. Same spirit. Up in the mountains, eating leaves and trees.
And they pretend to have this holiness, like this above you thing, like I'm taking a vow of a Nazar, and all of her followers are asking me questions. Well, how do you do it? Because just like Huldah, they act like they know what they're doing. So she's putting herself up to teach inadvertently, the same way Huldah, and we gonna get to that.
Right. And while she's admitting she don't really know what she's doing, she learning as she go. What? You make a vow and you don't understand what's required of you and why you're doing it, but yet you heard the voice call you to do it? Say it, Mom.
That doesn't make no sense.
Say it again. Very
That
intentional.
makes absolutely no sense. None. That's crazy.
and the followers are just like, wow, you're Huldah's friend. You're her best friend. And they looking at her like, oh, yeah. There's no judgment again, and this is how people are seeing it. Huldah's not going to judge me. I can actually be her friend and be gay. I can actually be her friend and be an adulterer. I can actually be her friend and not keep Torah. Yeah, Huldah is the one.
Okay, this is the video. So she broke it two times over. Now she want to take you to the mountain and do a sacrifice. She put some music on, does a prayer. Right? Y'all can go watch this. Watch how quick her 272 views jump. Right? And some of y'all, y'all gonna jump to this foolishness. She gets up at the top of a mountain, like it's holy, in the hills of California, where the chemtrails is and all the pollution is in the fire. Right? Right? Messed up, had to cut it once, but no, she wants bald-headed, y'all.
And that will still be her excuse every month just to get the
Yep, just to get the top. I broke it again. And she goes up there and shaves this little piece of fur off her head. Right? All in front of y'all with music. And says a prayer.
Reading a prayer.
Reading a prayer. Yes, live. Okay, here we go. Let me just play it. All right. She said a prayer. She collected her hair like she's supposed to burn it and does a sacrifice.
Yep.
Man, the music kills me.
It's Baal worship. It's vanity. It's blasphemy.
Everything that Yahshua spoke against. Everything he said not to do. Wait, did I miss her burning it?
No, it's after that.
Then she gonna take her defiled hair and burn it at the top of the mountain, y'all, as a sacrifice.
Works to be seen of man.
And she gonna burn her DNA to Baal, giving a sacrifice of her image. She need to throw her whole self in there. All right. So now I just want to give y'all some context as they separate themselves, but they're unified in the game. Same thing like Yoshi did. You do yours, I do mine, bring it together, but we really together, right? So let's get to this whore, this prostitute, this Jezebel. Now, it's 38 minutes of her. Y'all want me to speed it up just a little bit? One notch up. Y'all know I can't. I'll be on alien speed getting through these people. I can't. So now what again? I want y'all to hear this, Israel. Now what again?
So, this video is titled, So Now What? Kind of like part two. I think I have a part two. There may be a part two, part three. So I put again. I told people that I would update on parts of my journey, healing, processing. And it's a beautiful process when you're allowed to just step away. Step away, think. Step away, breathe. Step away, learn, unlearn. And so I think I'm back at square one, which is probably for some people scary. But for me, it is the most amazing feeling ever. I woke up this morning and I was like, I'm gonna post this video to Patreon, and just leave it there and just call it a day. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna post it here, and then all the subsequent videos after this, for those of you who want to continue watching these type of videos, join Patreon. Shameless plug. It's there. It's the easiest place to communicate with people who are.
Before we go further, everything that she's about to say, when she says we, them, they, I want you to put in I, me, and I did, and also me. Plug that in, and you're gonna hear her own testimony about herself, right? But she invites you on her Patreon. I want y'all to remember this. She invites you on her Patreon to follow her journey from some years ago, 7 years ago, whatever years ago, to her so-called walk in the truth. And it's an unplugged, right? It's a tell-all. I'll tell all, And let me tell you something what she's doing. She is attaching every single one of y'all to her sins. Because
and you paying for it. You paying, which is doubly blasphemous. She's again going back to the profiting. They don't do anything if it doesn't make them money. She wouldn't even be on the YouTube have it not been for monetizing, for Patreon, for PayPal, for all these little avenues to give money.
So she's attaching all of y'all to her sin, right? Pay her to hear her sins and her broken journey. That's what you're going to hear her admit to this whole thing. She's been on a broken journey and she's still not healed. But pay me to follow me on the top of a mountain to watch my brokenness. All right. But once again, everything she about to say, just replace it when she say y'all, when she say we, when she say us, them, he, she, say I.
Dedicate to and with myself on the fullness of this journey. So if you guys have never seen the original So Now What video,
so she invited those that are what?
Dedicated to her journey.
Dedicated to the fullness of her journey. She starts off with making herself a what, y'all?
Follow me.
Follow me. She can say Messiah all she wants. This whole video is going to end up with dedicate to me, follow me. To my broken Medusa palace. All right.
it's on here on YouTube somewhere. So if you type in So Now What, it'll come up. And it was made, oh my gosh, it had to be at least like 7 years ago, probably. And I made the video because I come into this walk, like many of you have. And there was just so much happening for me, not necessarily in the walk, which probably is what a lot of you are experiencing, but mine was coming out of a space of, again, religious oppression, where God can only be seen in one way, the Messiah can only be seen in one way, and your faith is pretty much subjected to the beliefs of the people within that system.
Blasphemy. Now we know she's talking about Christianity, right? But she's not speaking against Christianity. She's speaking against the idea of one way. Come on now, y'all don't hear it?
Absolutely.
Right?
Like I mentioned before, she's into a lot of things. And what you're about to hear, you may be just as confused as I was when I first heard it, but I was taking notes because I'm clear about how she speaks. She speaks in first of all, she speaks very cryptic. Lest you know what's going on with her, it's left to interpret. You can be hearing her and be thinking, oh, she's talking about Torah. But what she'll do is, for instance, use a prophet in the Bible and say that's her. or she'll use a person to tell in the Bible, right? And the way that she does it is very calculated. So it's not like she's just speaking off the top of her head. So in this speech that she's about to go on, pay attention to the names of the people that she's talking to. And just like Talia said, replace the, they, replace it with and I when she's talking about specifics.
So yeah, this construct of religion that she calls a sort of a jail and a prison that they say is one way. But there is only one way. So what's she talking about? Call it. What's the way that you were in that was jail that wasn't the right way? Call it. Call it. All right. I want you to pay attention also, Israel, that in here you're going to hear in the beginning all is God, God, God. Yes. There's a reason for this. She'll tell you, yes. She done went back to the idol name, God. Mm-hmm.
And I remember waking up and going, okay. And by waking up, I mean just like a light wake up, because what I realize now is that it is a constantly, everyday, renewing, reawakening process. So I remember waking up and going, okay, everybody in that space had their way of beliefs. And I remember coming in to what I'm going to now call the Hebrew Israelite way of doing things, and realizing that, okay, they have a lot of ways that they want to do things too. And over the past 7 years, I realized that in the same way that the Christian church has all of these fractures and all of these beliefs and all of this people worship and all of this hiding and all of these secrets, it's here too, unfortunately.
So you hear how she said, and the Hebrew Israelites, how they have all their fractions, she's talking about herself. She creates fractions. She has secrets. She has idol worship in her heart of others, and she wants others to idol worship her. Everything she's speaking, she will toss it on others, cast the blame on others, but she is talking about herself.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
I believe in the beginning of this, she said she wanted to pull away because there are some things she had to do, including learn. So as she's trying to detach herself from the Hebrew Israelite movement, what has she been teaching for so long if she now has to go away and learn? Food for thought.
Hebrew. And she's going to claim that she's the only one. Okay, let's go.
And so the main issue is not Hebrews in general, and I'll get to that, but it's with us. It's with humans. It's with humans and our inability to deal with ourselves in a lot of ways. And so we find and we run into spaces where we can hide from that. And unfortunately, for a lot of quote unquote black people, people call black people, the way of the quote unquote awakening or truth is that space where you get to hide from who you used to be. So you change your name, and you change your clothes, and you wrap your head, and you put on your fringes, and you go to fellowships, you go around people who tell you what to do, and act like they know more than you. They lead you into spaces. They make you feel lost. They make you feel hurt. They make you feel sad. They make you reject you. And then you have to start all over again. And for the...
Need I say more, Israel? There's nothing like a man that describes another that describes himself so perfectly. If she didn't break it down better than I could. But that's exactly what she's done. And now she's at, so now what again? But she's going to pretend that she didn't lose her faith like most people. But when she's describing these people, you're going to see that she's very particular what she's pulling out about their description that only applies to her.
And for those of you who haven't got all the way through that process, and maybe not necessarily reject Yah in the sense of being done with your faith, but I've seen a lot of people come through this walk and be done with their faith. I've seen people go through, write books, and turn into Egyptologists. I've seen people go through, write books, and then become non-messianic. I've seen people go through, become big, and then turn back and bring in the ways of the church into this.
She's trying to compare herself. What she just said was really her, casting it on everybody else. But she's really saying, but those people, they come in, they write books, and then they turn to Egyptology.
She's studying Egyptology.
Yes, I know. She's talking about herself. Go ahead.
She studied Egyptology and she wrote some books. So
And she's practicing that stuff now.
yeah.
Write books, and what she say? What's the other one? Return back to the church, or lose their faith, right? Or beat the. But she never left the church. The very construct that she just about this way, they got their way of how they believe it should be done, and that's what she's been trying to do for the last 7 years. Tell you her way, and you're gonna see her claim that through this whole video. It's my way. Everybody else is wrong.
And to speak to that, to speak to what she said, that she experienced religious oppression, you know, Yoshi was her restraint. She was all over the place. And so she will use an example soon, right? And it's speaking to how she felt like she was being oppressed, but really it was her husband at the time restraining her from all of these lusts of other doctrines. All of these lusts of Egyptology, all the lust of mindfulness, and all of it was about power. And that's one of the reasons why they butt heads a lot, because he wanted power and she did too.
But she's going to presume that she's a little different, as she says she doesn't lose her faith or belief in Messiah. But I'm saying she never believed in Messiah, right? Her whole, all of these months of doing Samuel would speak, all she say is Messiah, barely say what the Yahshua. And she never mentions it in here, nor does she command you to follow him or anything. She'll say it's the word, it's the Torah, right? And I will always speak the word in Torah, but then she's going to nullify all of that and say, follow me, the brokenness of my unstrung, untuned instrument. And you're going to see hypocrisy all in her speech. Okay, let's continue. But continue when she says we, them. Remember that she's saying I. Yes.
Into this walk. And so I remember when I made the So Now What video, one of the first things, maybe the last things I said, maybe I said it more than once, was the same Ruach that called you on the journey is the same one you have to stick with. Everything is cyclical. The end is declared out of the beginning. And our people have done the same things over and over and over again. We make the same mistakes. It is, they call it...
I can't let that, the same Ruach that you came in is what's supposed to leave with, because Yah commands us to be renewed. He commands us to be transformed. He commands us to kill the flesh and to put on Yahshua, to put on his son. And the way that she speaks, she don't hear it. And those who are watching her, they don't see it, that this is when she starts to put herself up on the pedestal, to walk up on the pedestal and say, and now, this is when she's about to show up and show out. And she speaks no righteousness. It's all lofty speaking. Nothing that she just said, that little piece, was of Torah, of Yah's word, or what Yahshua said. Everything is cyclical. Everything's a club from the beginning. Like, what is that? That to me sounds like New Ageism. That to me sounds like philosophy. And that's all she's a part, because she's more so really interested in psychology, what intellect, what goes into the mind.
You know why? You know why people go into psychology, right? Psychology teaches that most of y'all are here because y'all are broken and damaged and lunatics, and y'all are really looking for a healing for yourselves, trying to heal yourself. But you hear voices in your head and you think it's another spirit. Watch she tell it? Why she say it? Okay, let's go. No, the Ruach didn't call her. Her own stormy cloud with no water in it called her. Her own ambition, her own spirit, inspiration.
What Huldah has been saying about the same Ruach that called you is the same Ruach that speaks to you now is true. It's her truth. But she's not speaking of the Holy Spirit. She's speaking of another spirit, which is unclean. So she's actually, what she's saying is true. But we're not supposed to be led by any other spirit but the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Thank you for that correction. Just see through it. See through it.
We say epigenetic trauma, but it's transgenerational trauma. It's passed down from generation to generation to generation because of a singular thing. It's not the devil. It's not Christianity. It's not other people's faith. It's not race. The core of all of it, and that's why it's called an abomination, is pride. It's our own pride. Our own pride convinces us that we know a lot. Our own pride convinces us that we are, and I want you to hear me on this one. Our own pride has convinced us that we are God. Not gods, not ills, not powers. We are God. Let me tell you why. In this walk, we are arguing about things that make us God. For instance, we're arguing right now about how to say God's name. Because, see, this word means this, and this word means that. None of us being linguists at all. This word means this, and this word means that. And the Ruach has revealed to me, and the Ruach has told me, and the Ruach is that this is this, and this is this. And I go, wow. Well, when I go back to Genesis chapter 1, that which names controls. Who names, the thing that names, the being that names is in control of, has dominion over. Interesting that God didn't come.
What? What?
She said, throw the baby out. With
the bath water, with the water, right? So those that correct those in the language, nobody has to be a linguist. First of all, if Yah called you by his spirit, you ought to know his name because he calls you by his name, so you can profess it. Not just his works and his character, but by the name attached to the works and the character. And so anyone that Yah would send would know his name. And anyone that Yah would send that knows his name would battle against all those that's speaking in his name, not according to his name. And so you would see, and that doesn't make you gods. But I'm going to show you that she's about to enter into the battle that she says makes us gods about arguing over the name. Notice that she will not say Yahuwah, and she's going to make her declaration. She's just saying God. Y'all, why is she saying God? Well, she wants to talk about nobody's linguist, but she didn't know Hebrew this whole time, y'all. Go back on her videos when she first went to Israel. 2 years ago, her first trip there, she's sitting at a restaurant trying to order mayim or something, and she doesn't know how to say shalom or paycheck or hello or goodbye, and she doesn't know Hebrew. Now, we know that in the last 6 months, she's gone back to school. She's probably most likely taking some more courses, and I know right now that she's taking courses in Hebrew. She's starting to learn what she didn't know, but she professed so proudly for the last 7 years in her walk. Pride. Just take her argument backwards, pride. And pride is that you think you're God. Well, I think I'm God. Because I profess to know, though I'm not a linguist, and I really didn't know Hebrew all this time, I'm starting to learn. And now I'm realizing, oh my goodness, what the prophetess Ibaya, when she joked all over my husband about the name of Yah, she actually might be right. Okay, you think I'm just saying that? Watch, just listen to her. Listen to her. I considered Yah's name. He proved it to me in multiple ways, but I considered all of these things. How do I know that it's Yahweh? Even though that's what I was brought up with. And Yah, who is wise, will give you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And when he gives you wisdom and understanding, you know what you're talking about, and you can speak, right? You can speak with a surety, and that doesn't make you proud and haughty and your own God. What it makes you is boastful in Yah. And we are allowed to do that when we speak by the real Ruach HaKodesh, because it affirms, bear witnesses, and teaches us all truth. But she doesn't know that. She's still trying to get it through education. All right, let's keep going. Just keep remembering, say I. When she says we, boom.
Hey, what do you think I should be called? Hey, what do you think my name should be? Waited a long time. Waited a long, long time. And when Yah finally, when God, I'll use that term, finally, when El declared his name to the people, he actually told them what he does. Gave them a designation of character to follow. And so right now you have all these people. His name is Yah, it's Yahuwah, it's Yahweh, it's Yahweh, Yahweh, all these things, all of us making these prideful declarations as to what his name is, and not a single person is walking in his character.
Who are you to determine that? Well, you would have to walk in his character to know his character to be able to decipher who else is who's not walking in that very character. But talk about yourself. You just described yourself. Your prideful declaration, not a linguist, don't know what you're talking about, made yourself a god, still speaking it like you know, but now denouncing that you really don't know, talking about what everybody else don't know, and nobody's walking in his, who are you? That's a lie. Y'all never said that there's nobody ever left without walking his character that don't know his name.
Struggle. We struggle. We're struggling with pride. And we don't see it as pride because, oh, we've been disenfranchised and we deserve this truth and we deserve this walk and we deserve this culture and we deserve this heritage and we deserve these things. And we're proud, entitled, and quite frankly, irritating brat Israelite children.
Oh my goodness, y'all. She described herself to the T, up and down to the DNA. Entitled, proud, brat, spoiled. That's what she's been the whole time. Man.
And since she's confessing to not be a linguist and to have not known Hebrew to understand the name, and she's been teaching for 7 years, she's actually declaring herself to be a charlatan and a false teacher.
But actually, because she got 6 months underneath her belt now of learning real Hebrew, she's actually going to try to revert. What she's doing is hiding that she never knew Hebrew. So I told you that she was faking to y'all the whole time that she knew Hebrew by giving y'all what she knows how to do is read dictionaries, right? That's what, when you learn to be a teacher, you learn to study something real fast, teach yourself, and spit it out real quick like you know what you're talking about, but you have no understanding. And so the whole time, all she did was teach y'all how to read dictionaries. And y'all could have did the same thing. And then philosophize on the word and use Paleo Hebrew, but she's going to denounce realizing that, right? And so in y'all minds, in her mind, she doesn't believe that y'all didn't know that she never know Hebrew. So she's still professing to know Hebrew as she's learning it now. But you're going to see her profess that in a way that she didn't, but she's still pretending I knew it all the time. Right? Let's keep.
Striving is real. The striving is real. If anything is persistent about Huldah, she's going to, whatever she's set in her mind to do, she's going to do it. But at the same time, Yah is in control of everything. The word says that many are the plans of a man, but it's the righteousness, the judgment, the final that stands of Yah. And so everything that she's put her heart to do, if y'all don't want it, he's not going to allow it. And that's just like Yoshi. He hasn't allowed her to get to that place because he knows she's full of pride. It's not for him, it's for her.
I know.
And we're so prideful and we're so usurping Yah's sovereignty right now that people are doing whatever they want. We are triggering people's traumas. We are telling people who we are and who Yah has told us we are. We're declaring who we are. And I'm looking around and I'm saying, oh, and not to offend anybody, but I'm going to use the term I am in Hebrew purgatory. This is a holding space for everybody who Yah has called, and they stopped moving. They stopped walking. They got fearful. They saw the Philistines in the way, and they began marching in circles and in circles. Okay. We are definitely above all things in the wilderness. Let me tell you something interesting about the wilderness. The wilderness was never the destination. We're in the wilderness. And those people, and I'm saying this because there's people who are going to wake up, and I don't know where my voice is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be in this platform, on this platform, in this space. I don't know, because I'm going to keep walking. But you believe that you are in the truth. What an arrogant statement. How are you in the truth in the wilderness? You haven't even seen the promised land. Haven't even seen, we can't even, first of all, can't even agree on where it is to even stand on the mountaintop and peek at it. And you can't see the new heaven and the new earth that is coming because it hasn't yet come.
Is anything she said true at all, according to the word? She's speaking blasphemy. This woman don't know the word. She's only speaking as a blind man. And a blind man can't tell the one that sees that they don't see.
She's so arrogant and so blind that she doesn't even see it, but she's also at the same time, the people that are following her, she's speaking down to them. And it's like, how can you not see this? I see it. I know I've come full circle, but she's already just, she's so hypocritical and so arrogant and so elevated, and so even how she's sitting on the chair like a throne is, she's already there in her mind that she has elevated herself, and I'm going to talk down to y'all.
I'm sorry. Does she not have a video that talks about? So now she says the wilderness is not where we're the last stop.
Yeah,
but does she not have a video about the wilderness?
Yes. No. Yes. I'm not that tired. I just want y'all to get something because I can take over, right? So she's been studying this wilderness thing, and I believe that she almost saw the truth, but she don't want to see the truth anymore because there's something what she believes about the wilderness that's not quite right, and how to get there. And her thing was about going to Israel the whole time, right? That was been her plan for the last 2.5 years, and she couldn't find the way to do it without what some would say denying Messiah. Because she don't have no wisdom. She doesn't really understand how these Hebrews got. So she think all the Hebrew Israelites that's in Israel that got their conversion, their citizen, denied Yahshua. She doesn't understand, right? But the wilderness, right? She wants to call what Israel is going through a wilderness now, she's just making it a psychological state of mind of Israel. She says Israel is the wilderness is not the last stop. I beg to differ. She don't know the word of Yah, and she doesn't know what happened in the wilderness the first time, right? Yah said to Abraham, everywhere where your foot has walked is the borders of the land of the promised land. And there was no Jerusalem. Jerusalem is coming down, right? As she said, it's coming down. Nobody's seen it yet. That's a lie. That's not what the Bible declares, right? But when he brought us out of the borders of Egypt into the wilderness, he brought us to what? A holy mountain. That was the beginning of the borders of the kingdom. And the kingdom had to manifest from that point, from heaven on down, and then spread out. The wilderness was the last stop to entering into the kingdom. She doesn't understand the kingdom, right? The kingdom had come down from heaven, New Jerusalem. Wherever Yah put his name is Yerushalayim. And they would have found their peace in the wilderness. Now, prophecy tells us that we're going back to that very same wilderness, right? He said there, I'm going to make your wilderness like a what? A Garden of Eden. I will come and visit you face to face on my holy mountain. That is the stop. So where's New Jerusalem coming from? Right there on that holy mountain. And where is it? It's in the wilderness. It's at the border of the land. It's at the east gate. She doesn't know the word. So she's wiping out all her mind because she can't lead anybody anywhere. She can't do it. She definitely can't do it by herself, right? She hasn't figured out how to even get in these borders and stay here. She doesn't want to come where Yah would lead his people, right? And she wants to live off the high horse while she does it. So she ain't found a way to what? She knows she's going straight hell. She don't want to
return to the ancient paths.
No.
If we know the ancient paths was what? It's just casting off the flesh, right? Off of Babylon. Everything, all the benefits, all of the riches, all of the glory, all the honor. Yah is stripping all of that away from all of us. Amen. She not about that. And so one of the reasons why she's speaking this out of the mouth of Huldah, not by Yah's word, is because she wants to create her own wilderness.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're going to hear that. She's trying to create her own wilderness for y'all. And so she doesn't understand that the wilderness was the last stop. That was the kingdom come down. That's where Yah brought them first, to the mountain. And that would have been the beginning, right? So she doesn't understand the borders, right? And so she says nobody sees it, that we're arguing over where it is. I'm not arguing over where nothing is. I know where it is. Right? I know where Yah told us to be, to prepare to meet him. He's coming down. He's coming down somewhere, and it says he's coming from over the mountains and the hills of Sinai. He's coming from Mount Seir. And that I will protect minds in that day. in all that's in the borders of this land, get into these borders. We know prophecy. That's not about the kingdom of heaven, but it actually is, right? The kingdom of heaven has to manifest within the borders or the porthole of the holy mountains in which he comes down at. And for her to say that nobody has seen it is an absolute lie. She's declaring a lie, because all of our forefathers gave up this world and made no land their home, even though he told them, go out of your home and circle around this land. Everywhere your feet goes is the borders of the promised land. But we can see in Hebrews that Yah said he never stopped journeying as a traveler, because he was still seeking for a city from his father's house, from heaven. That is from heaven. And it comes down, but he saw it. Moshe saw it. David saw it. The prophets saw it. They all saw it in the heavens, because that's what the Holy Spirit does, reveal the hidden things. That's how they had a faithful report. The things not yet made manifest, right? Not made manifest, are seen by those in the unseen. And by this, they walked faithfully. They did see it. David looked in the clouds and he prophesied the kingdom. He saw it. The prophets looked in the heavens and they saw it. The Holy Spirit revealed it to him. But she would know that because the same Ruach that called her is the same Ruach that took her in one circle in the wilderness, and she's still stuck on a mountain with no spirit and still broken. So now the blind man is going to tell somebody else that they don't see because she can't see. Blasphemy.
This is what I would say to anyone following Huldah.
Please.
The light that she has is clearly darkness. The fact that she has declared that no one knows and no one can see, she's saying that she's blind, and she therefore is the blind trying to lead the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, they will all fall into a ditch. So now is a time to unplug from Huldah and where she's leading you to, which is destruction.
Now she wants to jump out of Hebrew purgatory and build she's helping build the walls of purgatory. Gehenna. All right, man, we only 9 minutes in and it's just blasphemy all up and down, an arrogant little nasty cuss of a little woman. Nasty. We're not finished with it. Listen, I'm telling you that this is a whore speaking. Okay, let me get down to the chase. Y'all might be mad at me for breaking down Huldah's intellectual words right now. You might think this is a battle. This woman is wicked from the beginning to the end. But wait, now I want her to speak like a victim before I show you that she's the predator. Hold on. Let's let her speak some more foolishness. Speak like an intelligent dummy, an educated stupid.
Yet we are in the truth, as opposed to every other person who Yah is calling and pulling on their heart and drawing them to him, who are not. And we've designated the wilderness space, the space with the lions and tigers and bears, oh my, as the space. But the wilderness is not the promised land.
You don't know what you're talking about. Yah designated that space. He said, I'll meet you there.
Wilderness is a space to do exactly what it's doing. It's the place to devour you. It's the place where there are a lot of voices. It's the place of murmuring. It's the place of trial. It's the place of suffering. If you depart from the voice that called you, that released you, that redeemed you in the first place. And many of us are talking to ourselves. I want to challenge
many of me is talking to myself. Now she's still speaking blasphemy, y'all. Right? She's still speaking blasphemy as nobody else got the way, but yet those that y'all are calling got the way. But what's the way? Who are you talking about that y'all called that got the way, as opposed to the other ones that's telling everybody else that they ain't got the way? And what way would that be? Right? And that you're saying that Yah is calling us back into the wilderness to go 40 years in circles. No, that's not what he declared. He said, I wrote down all that you did in the wilderness. It was a place of testing to humble you so that I can what? Prove you to see if you love me and if you will or what? obey my voice. That's where the voice is. And when the voice was in that wilderness, right, after Yah came down on the mountain to speak through that, his voice, straight to you, you said, I don't want to hear that voice anymore, or else I would die. So now we get to Hebrews, and it says, you have not come to that mountain of fire and earthquakes and tremblings and the noise of the trumpet and fire. So now I speak to you. Stop acting like you're going to die, Huldah. Right? She's up here acting like she's broken because she's received a spanking from life. Now, that voice in the cloud, we're going to continue to talk about that voice. I'm going to say it again, that if you're not a prophet of Yah, that didn't sit underneath another prophet of Yah, that wasn't sent by another prophet of Yah or testified to by the same spirit that called Moshe to the top of the mountain to bear witness to him that it was him that I spoke to face, the voice. I did speak to y'all. You said no more. And from that time on, you Israel said, I will only hear your voice through a prophet. And from that time until he comes back to the mountain, know you every man for himself, right? Until that time, Yah has declared that you will only hear my voice through the mouth of a prophet. She's speaking blasphemy. Nobody is hearing Yah's word. And even those prophets, we still receive it in dark sayings. We still got to go back and bear witness by Yah's word to testify to it. A prophet, not an undeclared teacher and a self-made leader. And because she refused to hear the voice of Yah, when I called through my voice, which was Yah calling 2.5 years ago, did I not make a call for her? I made a call. She refused to hear it because she was too proud and arrogant to hear the voice. Why? Because she's determined that Yah's going to speak to her. You lying devil. All right, watch. You don't think she's declaring this to them? She's declaring that Yah's going to speak to me. Watch. Well, how many me's is speaking in her mind now, telling her she's God?
Challenge everyone, because this is a challenge that we all have to do, and it's hard. It's hard work. Have you been hearing Yah? Or have you now, become God in your head? Because the voice of Yah is clear. The voice of God is very, very, very clear. Because it was so clear that when you heard it as you were on your journey, in whatever form of religious construct you were in, it halted you. It shook you to your core, but we did something wrong.
That's a lie. A lot of people heard a call by his spirit, but it wasn't a clear voice of Yah. Y'all had to get confirmation by witnesses, didn't y'all? By someone who could delegate the word to affirm this calling, but it wasn't clear. You had to get clarity through a prophet or preacher or someone sent that knows the word of Yah that also follows that same voice. That's a lie. Nobody's clear, right? Nobody's clear. That voice is not that clear. Even I sometimes have to question, is that you? Who's speaking? Let me go back into your word and make sure it's you. Because it's saying something sound good, I'm not clear.
We did like Samuel did the first couple of times when he heard Yah's voice and he ran to Eli, right? You run to teachers and preachers. And
I did like Samuel the first time. So I want you to realize that she's now gonna, what do you call it when you speak your story through somebody else's story? I mean, you're living vicarious through somebody else's story, but there's a educated term. She would know what it is. I don't know what it is, but she's imprinting the story of Samuel, right? A dedicated, a Nazarite from birth, right? Dedicated from birth, taught from birth the law, statutes, and served underneath a priest who was called by the Holy Spirit from birth. She's comparing herself to Samuel. Don't work. And Eli. And Eli. As if Eli didn't have, yes, Eli had a broken family, but Eli served Yah. And Samuel got his instructions from Eli. But listen to the story. Let's see who she's Samuel. Who's Eli?
Broken vessels. Because Eli was broken. His family was broken.
Eli was broken. His family is broken. Who's she talking about?
Oh, Yoshi.
She talking about Yoshi.
Right? So she looked towards Yoshi, knowing from the beginning, but that's not Eli. She looked towards Yoshi from the beginning to look for the voice of Yah through him, really to fulfill her voice through him, right? She saw her voice being manifested through him because they were speaking by the same spirit, which was pride, right? And she saw from the beginning as she committed fornication and adultery with him from the beginning. No, he was a broken man, had the third wife, children by different babies' mamas, was a scandalous. She was a part of the scam in the beginning. She helped him with the scam, right? Oh, I know the stories. There was something going on with another woman in there. I think the mom was a part of it. I'm not sure if it was another woman, right? It was competition over who was going to be the first lady. First lady struggle, right? So she looked to this broken man, and she could see that was broken, but he was speaking the same voice by which spirit called her in the beginning. So she ran to him. That's what she's saying. Let me help her story.
And you run to those broken vessels and you go, here I am.
And you ran to Yoshi and said, here I am. That's what she did, y'all. She opened her legs. She opened her mouth and said, here I am. That's what she did, y'all. I know how she got them. They fornicated. And said, here I am. Sorry.
And she also, the same way she seduces other men, is she uses her intellect to do it. That's a part of her seduction. So, of course, you got a young lady, right, who's speaking very mature.
How old was she?
I believe she's about 20 when she married him. Yeah, they're definitely 20, about 15, 20 years apart. But she saw the game on how to catch a man who was prolific, the way that he spoke, a pastor who was full of power, right? And money. And so she used her schooling, she used her body, and she used the admiration, the idol worship to catch. And this is the part as she's going into to try to play victim to.
I want you to be clear. She's Samuel, Yoshi is Eli.
Here I am. And you ran to these other places. You said, here I am. And you turned your ear in because it sounded like the voice of Yah.
See, that's what I said. Yeah, it sounded like the voice of Yah. What Yoshi was spitting is what she was hearing.
Sounded similar to. And when you ran to certain places, they didn't tell you. Like I've been saying, I promise you, you can go back and watch videos. Read your Bible, listen to Yah, trust Yah, hear Yah. This is how you hear Yah. No, they said, here I am. That's what they did. I am here, and I am going to tell you everything that Yah is telling me because I am the Mori, and I am the teacher, and I am the prophet, and I am the seer, and I am the... No. Supposed to do...
But she's actually nullifying all authority at the end of the day, right? So go ahead, you can continue in the story. They battle for power and intellect and knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, this is by account also of Yoshi's. A lot of times when he spoke on, he'll talk about how Huldah comes to him and asks him a question, or she'll say, I went to Yoshi and asked him a question. And he's always knocking her down because a lot of times when she comes, it's off. But then also a lot of times when she comes, he tries to pull her off because she's actually onto something. So there's this tug of war, and it's total chaos in the mind ultimately, but it's all a power struggle. It's always been a power struggle. So the fact that she's now I guess you call it divorce. Now she's catching herself trying to empower herself through this divorce, something that she's actually been plotting for years.
Y'all thought I was gossiping. I told you that this woman, I'm sorry. She playing the victim here, y'all. She's saying something happened to her. But she's gonna give you more details of this story to show you that Huldah has been plotting and planning this divorce for the longest. The reason why she didn't get it 2 years ago when she attempted is because she didn't have enough money. He controlled the money. But since then, she's been able to build her own dedicated following and her own business and get enough money to do her own thing. So she doesn't need his money anymore. And really, that's your money, y'all. Y'all paid for her divorce. Y'all paid for her fornication, right? And you paid for her wickedness that she's doing right now, her land and all of that she swear y'all gonna come to. All right. Remember, she's Samuel, she's Eli.
Like Eli, in all of his brokenness, he said, boy, go lay down. And then Samuel hears Yah again, and he's like, here, Samuel. And Samuel gets up and he runs to Eli. He's like, here I am. You call me? And he's like, no, go lay down. So then Eli's like, okay, this boy got up twice. See, the leaders are not like these people are waking up. They're waking up and they're not looking for us. You guys are looking for Yah. You're looking for God. You're looking for a connection back to your Creator, not to a campsite where tents are set up, where people are coming out and doing all kinds of unheard of ungodly things, bringing all kinds of pride and all kinds of level of filthiness. We ran and we flocked to it. Why? Because we like the group effect. We like the group. We flock to it like flocking around the tents of Korah. I would like to. And is Yah only speaking to? And Yah can't be. And Yah's like, I called you, and you've forsaken the pillar of cloud and the pillar.
Who did Yah call? She swears she the victim. She swear I called you. No, y'all. Huldah, Yah never called you. You never heard the voice of Yah. You still blind. You can't see. No, Huldah. No.
It's such a soliloquy double talk. Exactly how I flocked to it. I want you to flock to me in the same way.
Wait till you see the end of the video, y'all. Man, she about to
flip it on you. She about to stack it.
This is the campaign. Huldah approves this message.
Yeah. Wait till you see the end of it. All I gotta do is take the end and put it in the beginning. Turn it off. This girl's talking all backwards. She crazy. Go ahead. Let's.
Own journey. People like, I'm on a journey. I'm on my journey. I'm on a journey. I'm looking, I'm searching, I'm finding Yah. And I'm doing it here, and I'm doing it in this camp, and in this space. And, oh, have you heard such and such a video? And I'm searching through YouTube like Pandora's box, like the adversary is not lining and lacing your good food with all kinds of poison.
That's what she did, y'all. That's what she did as a witch. She's the adversary. She called y'all to her camp, her way, her truth, her light, invited you to her orgies, where they was doing all kinds of abomination, all kinds of disgusting, despicable things. Yeah, there was orgies going on in there, y'all. She was always hooking up people, divorced people and remarrying people and breaking up arrangements and rearranging them. I know this for a fact. A lot of people came to me and was like, you know what? I wanted to smack that girl in her face. I was engaged to this girl. And Huldah told this girl, don't marry me. And she went and married and hooked her up with somebody else when I was already engaged, I promised to her. Huldah was playing matchmaker all the time up in there, like a goddess. Like she birthed these people. Right? Is it true?
Yes, that is true, because there was a couple that, who was it? Another singer that's on the yes, another singer, and she matched him a guy that came and lived on the property, matched them up together.
Yes, after he was betrothed.
And she was betrothed to somebody else too, because that person was actually on his board and came to me and told me about it. Don't worry, it's not a rumor.
And not to mention, she also giving marriage advice.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that portion of hypocrite. that you put all across her head because she catches herself giving marriage advice. Meanwhile, her marriage is havoc. It's in shambles.
You must be mad at me, Huldah, right now.
All kinds of it. Anywho, back to Samuel and Eli. So then Samuel hears the voice again, and he goes to Eli, and he's like, here I am. And Eli's like, oh, boy, you think I'm calling you. What you're hearing is Yah calling you. Go back and listen to him. Here I am, like Eli, extremely broken, extremely fractured. Not going to stay stuck there, but in a lot of ways, with a lot of things that I need to work on and that I need to hear Yah for. But one of the things that I've learned over the last couple of months on this journey of what I thought was just trying to heal from a relational fracture was that, once again, I've said this too, all the contents fall out. Everything falls, and you lay on the floor and you're looking and you're like, okay, here's my life. What do I need to look at? And I immediately started looking for people to help me hear Yah's voice. And therapy, coaching, family. And
She went to therapy. She went to coaching. She went to her wicked, whorish family that has bad relationships for marital advice.
And what I realized is Yah was like, Huldah, and here I am going, oh, are you over here on this? And are you over here with this person and this person? And Yah was like, I'm in the same place I've always been.
Who she went to but wicked people. She didn't turn to anybody that had the truth, the way, and the light, that could see, anyone that would give her judgment and correction, nor did she repent. Now she wants to play like the victim. Okay. Why they divorced? Why Yoshi treated her the way he treated her?
Short version.
Short version, whatever version. But she, and how you know it to be true?
So, like I said, Huldah and I, we were divulging things about ourselves to one another. This is also one of the reasons why I knew that she was divorcing Yoshi. And this was like years before she actually did it. She explained how she was going to do it, how she was going to divorce him, how she was going to set up a scenario where she still receives sex from him, that like, oh no, he's going to make himself available to me. We're going to continue to have sex after we're married. He's going to give me the money, right? And his daughter, Jasmine, and Huldah did not like each other, butt heads a lot. And Jasmine's thing that she saw about Huldah was she's trying to take my inheritance. So a lot of this feud had a lot to do with inheritance. It had a lot to do with money. But aside from all the marital things that she had going on, she was all up in my marriage.
No, but she also admitted to you that she was the one that did what? To betray the marriage through what? Adultery. That she's.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't following. Okay, so again, hindsight is 20/20. As I listen to this girl, she is very calculated in the way she speaks. I remember we were sitting and having a conversation. I think it was about marriage or something, and she very cryptically said that in the very beginning of their marriage, she stepped out on him and committed adultery. That she basically did it in the sense of because he wouldn't pay attention to her. So she was saying how she adored him, she loved him, she would do things for him, little things, fold up his clothes a certain way, right? But he was basically like somewhere else. Young wife, older man, he wasn't paying her much of any attention. And so she took that as an opportunity to step out on the marriage. He ended up finding out, I don't know the whole details of the story, but basically they started their marriage, like she said, in fornication, and in the very beginning of it, in adultery. So he's looming this over her head throughout the whole entire process. Meanwhile, profiting off of it because he's also allowing her to seduce men in front of him. There was a scenario I remember. I was at the house. I was at their house, and the way that their house was, it was a big living room, and it was a hallway, and she came out in a robe.
A silk robe.
In a robe, and it didn't look like, you know, when you're wearing a robe, if you're wearing shorts under, you don't know, but it looks like you're not wearing anything under. So it looked like she wasn't wearing anything under. She's a big breasted.
Oh, was it the silk one?
No, I don't remember the material, honestly. I just know it was a robe. First of all, I'm not coming out of my robe.
That's what I heard. I remember you telling me silk before, but okay.
Yeah, okay.
That's the first time I saw her. She was always in a silk robe.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't come out in a robe if I got company. But there's no point in that. But it was myself and my ex-husband. She came very deliberately, laid down, not sat up or sat on the couch. She lay down on the floor where you can see the shape of her body. Bent her legs in a way that if you walked that way, you were going to catch a glance or something. And mind you, a lot was going on in my head because Yoshi was sitting down, my ex-husband was sitting there, and they were talking. I'm looking at this thing, and I'm having a synapses error, right? Because one, this is supposed to be like my sister, so I don't really know how to approach this. I was also afraid, right? I was being a coward in the sense of not protecting my sanctity in my marriage, regardless of what they had going on. So I found a blanket, and I ended up laying it over her. And I looked at Yoshi. He didn't even look my way. He didn't look her way. It was just kind of like, yeah, I know. That's what she does. And that was also one of the things that opened up my ex-husband's eyes to her, to the point where they were having conversations on the phone. They were having text message conversations. She was basically growing a friendship with him to where outside of me. They were, it ended up being that I was seeing that when she would play guitar, he went and bought one. When he's sitting there vaping, right, the vapor stuff, she went out and got a vapor and bought him one for his birthday. Okay, so there was a scenario, and I'm going to end with this on the marriage, because by no means am I it's good. Yeah, he has pulled me out of darkness into his light, and I have married Yahshua. So I'm good, but I have to be a witness to the fact that this is a witch, and the witch of who she is she plays with seduction, she plays with witchcraft, everything that I accused her of before. And there was an argument that my husband and I had at the time, and I will never forget. I don't even know what we were arguing about. Why can't you be more like Huldah? Why can't you be more like Huldah? And from then on, I realized that I made a terrible mistake of letting this woman into my marriage, let alone my life, because no real sister would even give the very appearance of such a thing. And she did it very, very casually.
There's more details, but we're gonna leave it there. Just know it's true, Israel. Just know it's true. I said it was true. Who can't see it? Half of y'all brothers out there know it's true. Half of y'all know that y'all started watching Yahshua came because y'all was attracted to Huldah. And I got that testimony and that witness from husbands. Yes, they were attracted to Huldah when they first saw her. Right? It's more to it than that. But yes, this woman's is a whore. She's not a victim. She's a whore. Yoshi should have killed her. But how could he kill her? Because he's a whoremonger too. They used each other. I said that he was a pet. He used her. He was like, she a whore, but I'm gonna use her anyway. She gonna make me the money. She gonna be a whore. I can't stop her from being a whore. You better not sleep with nobody else again. I might let you sleep with women. Just don't sleep with no other man. Ain't that right, Huldah? I remember them flaunting their relationship all and kissing and she was touching his stuff, y'all. She would touch his stuff all in front of people and kiss on him. Excuse me. I I remember all of these videos that they would do, and she would just be all over him. And she would grab on his stuff in front of him, like it's my marriage, and we love each other. And I told Huldah she could have anything she wants. She just one thing, just don't cheat on me, right, Huldah? Go ahead.
So I can attest to the nastiness and the looseness and of her flaunting her whoredom in front of people. For newcomers to the ministry, when I first went there to Tobago with them, that was one of the first things that she did. She was twerking on him in front of me. Twerking on Yoshi in front of me. I'm just standing there like, okay. What could I do? I was so embarrassed. I was embarrassed. Yeah. It's nasty. It's disgusting.
No, I heard there was swinging going on. I ain't gonna mention names because they not here to speak to it, but there was a whole lot of more testimony of what she said, the abominable things that was going on. All right, let's keep going. I'm only halfway through. Man, it's so much. Come on.
I'm in the same place I've always been. I'm in the same space. I've never left. You walked off and started going everywhere. You got one deployment and you stayed on tour for 7 years on that deployment.
What deployment, y'all? Y'all never deployed her to do anything. I saw her testimony and I spoke to it. Who called her? She called herself. Didn't she say that? She said it. She said it. Y'all heard it, right? She called herself. She said that nobody called me. I wanted to be a teacher, so I taught.
I read the book in 72 hours.
Yup. 72 hours of that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Man. He sent me.
And I worked with you and I beckoned you, but right now I'm gonna stop.
She said y'all deployed her and y'all worked with her and beckoned her. Watch what she said at the end of all of this, y'all know. Right? That she heard the voice. He summoned her, worked with her, beckoned her, deployed her, spoke to her. Watch.
But I'm gonna stand still. I need you to hear me clearly. It ain't there. Okay.
You know what happened here, right? Tell me what you see what just happened.
She edited something she didn't want to be heard. She was off, so she had to, yeah.
She said too much.
She did. She slipped up, so.
And this is what she did, at least when I say did, because I don't follow her. You know, I don't subscribe to anything she says. I know her to be who she is, which is a hypocrite. So, but I know that in the past, what she would do is she'll put stuff up and she'll delete it. And I remember specifically her doing like a 2-hour video about her marriage. And she pulled it down. The same way she supposedly, from what I heard, did a video that's saying, I'm divorced now, and just took it off. So she plays these little gimmicky games a lot of times to see who's gonna hear it, see who's really following her, one, and see who's gonna hear it to, again, come my way, because these are little signals that I'm sending out to see who's gonna catch them.
No, I don't think this was a signal. I think that she went off the chain and realized that she was starting to look crazy. Her craziness was coming out. She was saying too much, and she said, "Watch, because you're gonna see she start from the beginning." She pulled back. All right, let me reset. That's what she's doing. Okay.
The same spirit, Ruach, that woke you up is the same one that you're supposed to be staying with. That's it. So, what did Samuel do? And I think 1st and 2nd Samuel have been just like, oh, it's such a training ground. Samuel stayed with Yah. It said that he kept his eyes fixed and focused on Yah. and on God, on Elohim. And that was imperative. And when you look over his life and other people's lives, it was the fixing and focusing on Elohim and not the fixing and focusing on the people and what was going on around them and where people were meeting and where people were gathering. Because, that's not it. So after, from so now what to so now what again, this is where I am. This is where I am for all of you who can like, subscribe, unsubscribe, delete. Once again, I offer and I welcome you to that space.
That's her arrogant pride, knowing that everything she's saying is wrong and she's gonna get judged by it. So if you don't like what she's saying, you can subscribe, delete. I welcome you. Smugness. That girl gonna get popped in her frog legs one of these days.
And this is also another great example of being effeminate. It's she don't know how to take correction. Any bit of it, even if she makes a tantrum here or if she sucks it up there, she will get, just like they all do, right? They all get up on the YouTube and start crying and start playing the victim and start saying, well, you're attacking me. And this is what she does. She's effeminate. She don't know how to receive righteous judgment and correction, let alone criticism.
I'm not going to stay in Hebrew purgatory. It's not for me.
I ain't letting you out. Get back in there. So she's not gonna stay in the Hebrew purgatory. Get out of here. Hebrews didn't do it to you. You started your whole, she started her own Hebrew purgatory. She wasn't a part of nobody's stuff but her own.
I'm going to keep walking with Yah.
Okay, no, she's gonna keep walking with y'all. Listen to her words.
I am not affiliated with any group, camp, ministry, the construct of religion termed Hebrew Israelite. Do I know who I am? Yes. That will stay with me forever. And I'm gracious and grateful for Yah allowing me to walk through and to see. Not everything you learn and not everything you pick up is bad, but there's levels to the journey. I talked about this before in a previous video. This idea of chess, like it's like a chess game, right? There's moves and there's moves and there's steps and there's a way to play, right? You don't go from the first time you move a pawn to checkmate. And so this journey is a journey. We haven't arrived yet. I haven't arrived yet.
So this is the part to me that I'm like, she speaks over you. She speaks like she is this great philosopher. And because she uses terms like something hard like chess, everybody doesn't understand it. When she says it, it's like, I don't understand, but the way you spelling it out, you're either obedient or you're disobedient. You're either gonna follow Yah's word or you're not. There's no, Yah's not a chess, he's not playing games with you like that. No.
You either gonna do it, you either gonna walk the path, or you gonna get up. And the way she speaks is as if there's many, Yah has many squares on this board. I can't.
You guys did great. I'll catch you on the back end. But I have a lot more growing to do, and I have a lot more learning to do. I am not going to learn in oppressive spaces. I'm not going to learn in a space where people who are trying to wake up are given a list of rules and a list of things to do based upon your understanding. Torah.
You gave people a list of, I don't know what to do based on her own understanding, right? But she didn't teach Torah. She was claiming that she's still in, I never saw a Torah lesson from her in my life.
Talking about nothing. Really
talking about herself.
Talking about herself, ultimately. But not teaching the people about Torah, how to keep Torah, how to keep clean and unclean, how to cast off the flesh and take on the spirit of Yah, how to inquire of Yah, how to fast, how to pray, how to get down on your knees and really ask and seek for the Holy Spirit. She has not done it. I ain't never seen it. Everything she's done has been for a show. And she tries to pretend like she does these things behind closed doors, but she's actually showing what she's doing behind closed doors to people.
Absolutely. Torah is life. Torah will always be on the forefront. I have not claimed to be. I never said, call me Maureka Huldah. Like, people like to do that. They like to make videos and stuff about that. I am walking with Yah.
That's a game. She did declare to be Maura Huldah. Whether she did it direct by command or allowed it and accepted it, but she did. That was her title everywhere. She talking about.
I'm not your teacher. So you can learn, I will teach. But I'm not claiming to be your Torah teacher.
That don't make no sense. I never claimed to be Maura. I'm not your teacher. You can learn. I can teach. But listen to this contradiction, y'all. Listen to it.
I'm not claiming to be your Bible teacher. I'm not claiming to be whatever category. I'm going to heal. And as I heal and I grow and I walk with Yah.
She needs to heal. You can see that she's talking about it. She's broken the whole time. Okay.
I invite you on that journey, but that's not what I am. It's not what I'm going to do.
Once again, I invite you on my broken journey with Yah. Unhealed, broken journey with Yah.
Because it comes with not the responsibility of whether or not we tell the truth, because I hold myself to that responsibility. Not that I don't think I'm a teacher in the capacity that, when you share something, you teach. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not looking for followers.
What did she just say? But explain what kind of follower she means, right? It's a half statement. Hold on, let me finish it. Right? It's a half statement. She gonna re-explain herself what she means. She's not looking for followers, right? She did say in the beginning, I'm only looking for dedicated followers willing to follow me on my journey, meaning just willing to walk broken with me and believe me in my brokenness, right? Right? Follow and go pay for it, right? But I want to say I'm not looking for followers, but
on the journey that Yah's taking me on. So, in saying that, I'm not looking for people to grab me and pull me back as I'm walking with Yah, because you're not ready to go there, or you're not ready to learn that, or you're not ready to journey in that direction, or
arrogance. So I'm not looking for people that's gonna hold me back, meaning, or really she's saying to judge me, tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, remind me of my brokenness, tell me what to do, tell me anything. I'm not willing to walk with anybody that's gonna correct me, but you can walk with me while I correct you. That's what she's saying. So if you want to be dedicated.
And I want to pick my followers. So those who are actually on Patreon, I actually picked you because you paid for it.
And those that's not on my level. Let's see how high she is, y'all.
don't think that that is the way. I don't hate white people. Never have, never will. I definitely believe that, one, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and all white people are not Esau, and all white people are not whoever people like to say that they are. Like, I don't believe that. So if that is what comes with this walk, I'm out. I don't.
No, that's not what comes with, that would come with the Hebrew purgatory that her husband set up. Never once did I get on here and teach hatred towards Esau or teach that the white man was Esau, any of that. But her husband did, right? That's because they watched Hebrew purgatory for all those years and be like, what do they teach? I'm going to follow that, right?
But it's also another thing, and the reason why I say effeminate is because she don't like being challenged. She doesn't like having a challenge, whether on a healthy one, right? Or even on a debationship. I know she's been on this thing, for instance, with the calendar. Every time she talks about the calendar, she's full of contention and like, because no one's listening to her, because she don't know what she's talking about. So all of this stuff that she's talking about, yeah, it's things that we deal with in this walk because there's a lot of false doctrines out there. But she don't want to speak to it because she don't know. And actually, that's not my plight, because that's not what I'm dealing with, and that's not what I want to deal with. I want to deal with things I want to deal with. I want to deal with matters that I want to deal with. I don't want to deal with big monsters like the beast, like the devil, like Satan. I just want to deal with Hebrew. I just want to deal with stuff that's right here.
You know, when you send yourself, when you're not sent by Yah, you get to pick and choose what you want to talk about and what message you communicate. But when you were Yah's true servant, then you speak his message and his message only.
I said again, I ain't heard this girl teach a real Torah lesson yet of deliverance, salvation, truth. She barely claims Yahshua. She'll say Messiah all she wants, but you can get away with that, right? Even non-Messianics believe in Messiah. The whole Samuel, she was not talking about Yahushua at all. 6 months and never delivered the real message of Yahushua, just delivered her message, right? Waste of time. Y'all learn nothing. Okay.
Reject Messiah. If that's what comes with this walk, I'm out.
So when she's this is what I'm saying. When she's talking about rejecting Messiah, she doesn't believe in Yahushua, y'all. She never did. She was never on that path. She was never on the truth, the way, and the light. She never saw him. Because if she did, when Yahushua came, what did he say? The kingdom has come to you. And so she's sitting over here saying she never saw the kingdom. She never knew Yahushua. She never was on that path, right? It was Torah, 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 and it was only her instructions. It wasn't Torah, right? The devil and all of these people in New Ageism and everything use the Bible. There's not one sect of scholars, theologians, religion that don't touch the Bible some way, somehow. Not one.
Like all those things, there's too much. There's too many voices, there's too many friends.
Oh, this is what I was gonna say. This whole thing about being non-messianic, if that's what it comes with, nobody's telling her to deny Messiah. She's coming from the perspective that when she was looking to divorce her husband and leave, right? Y'all saw that she visited Israel with Knock and Lay, right? The Knock and Lay show, right? Yeah, she came twice, right? Came twice. I know this group. I don't know them. They don't know me, but I know their leader and the group that she was asking on to visit. They're wicked, full of wickedness, right? She was trying to find a way into Israel. They call themselves explaining it to her. But she came to an understanding off surface that to get your conversion, to get citizenship in Israel, because that's the only way to get to Israel and stay unless you go to school, right? To get a school visa or a work visa, that you would be under somebody's complete control. The only way to stay in Israel for a long time and get that citizenship is to convert to Judaism, and that you would have to go through the rabbinical system. Now, we know that has changed this season, right? Now you can get your conversion through any Jewish system, right? And in that strict system at that time, you know, the rumor is, right, that you have to deny Messiah. That's what she's saying. But once again, because she has no wisdom, no understanding, she really didn't talk to everybody in the land to find out if they denied Messiah or not, and how did they get through without denying Messiah? Because nobody ever said anything about denying Messiah. That's not what the Bible says. But we gonna leave it to intelligent people to understand what I'm saying, because we know she's not. And so her whole thing about if it comes with denying Messiah means if I can only get into the land through this system that would say I'm not gonna do it. But she doesn't believe in Yahushua, y'all. There's a difference. Many messiahs, it's only one Yahushua.
And this is the danger of this YouTube platform, that when people go in, even when we were talking about the eunuchs, right? You got other people coming with different doctrines and their own perception of things and their own intelligence. When they go in, they're so quick to hop on this YouTube and tell people what it is and tell people what it isn't. And these people, I'm not saying that all of them are not looking for truth, but there are people out here looking for truth, and they're out here following this. I was in that. And this is the danger of YouTube. And she's sitting here, I think she says it in the next one, she said, turn it off, right? She needs to turn it off. She needs to go away. She needs to sit down, and she needs to be quiet. And the people need to stop with this idol worship and need to start getting on their knees, fasting and praying, so that they won't make haste when that time comes.
I mean, she ain't gonna make it. Watch. She gonna tell you.
But there's one place where there is no fractures, and it's following and walking with Yah and staying in his word. His word is truth. I'm simplifying, if you want to use the term, my faith. So I'm simplifying it.
So in the beginning, she said those that walked this journey, wrote books, turned to Egyptology, turned to this, Lost their faith. She said, I didn't lose my faith. I didn't become anti-Messiah. I'm going to simplify my faith. She ain't on the path. Because as you walk this path, your faith must grow. It gets more intense. The test gets harder. And you must now magnify your faith. And so she's on a backwards walk. If she, right? It's crazy, y'all. I'm gonna simplify my faith. I'm just gonna believe in what I want to believe in.
And she said, well, I, Huldah, am going to simplify it. I'm not going to go through the fire. I'm not going to go through the flood. I'm not going to go through the rain. You're going to hear it. And when she says it, I want y'all to respond as just like I did, like, ooh, no, she did not. But she going to simplify it. She going to simplify it.
Yeah. I'm going to show you how simple it is. A witch on a mountain.
Simple things. What are the simple truth? Yah speaks. Yah is right. Yah is righteous. He is whole. He is holy. He is just. He is faithful to do and continue to do what he has said he was going to do. He's a savior. He came and died and redeemed us from Hebrew purgatory, so we didn't have to walk in it.
She said nothing. Satan can declare that. Satan can declare that. But she didn't declare Yah's name. She didn't declare what he said. She didn't declare his righteousness, right? She didn't declare his path. She's not declaring his Torah. She's not declaring the faith by which we should walk in. She's just speaking words. That means nothing. That's it. It's empty words, y'all.
It's all perfunctory.
Perfunctory.
Yeah, she's speaking empty words, but at the same time, she's looking for just validation constantly. Just love me. Just don't judge me. Let's have a wide path. So I think that's what sounds like she's heading.
All right, let's keep playing.
Example, I believe that. I have over the last year that hasn't left. That hasn't left. So when it comes to flexing and this like I'm Hebrew and nobody else and I'm out. I'm not riding the pride train. If your faith and your pride and who you are attached together, delete, remove. Because I'm not. I don't want to be that. I'm not going to keep talking about who black people are and who we're not. Because you know what? A person told me long ago, and they were so right, and I was so wrong. They were like, what does it matter if a person calls themselves a Hebrew if they're not living like one? And I was like, well, we have to know. We must know who these people are. And Yah's like, I'm going to tell you who they are. So right now, we're designating, we're choosing, we're pulling things together, and we're telling people who they are, and they're broken and they're unhealed. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to heal. And not just like heal from like life and trauma, because stop letting people walk you back down trauma lane.
Stop letting people walk you down trauma lane. But that's all she's talking about.
And that's literally all of her conferences, all of her webinars, all of her live streams is talking about trauma.
Mostly with men, right?
She can't let it go. Whatever happens to her, whatever happens to her, she can't let it go. She won't let it go and let Yahshua in. She's still striving to, like you said, to be acknowledged, and she's still striving to be loved. But she's looking for the love of man and not the love of Yah. And so she's going to miss the mark every time. That's one of the reasons why we can sit here and be like, oh, this girl lost her mind. She's lost her mind. And there's no longer intelligence that's going to cover it.
Like I said, intelligent, stupid. Okay.
walk forward, walk forward. I'm going to heal from this. I'm going to heal from this walk and from the people who are crabs in a barrel and are hurtful and want to change truth and change doctrine and do things that cause them to be on top and for other people to be on the bottom.
That's her whole ministry, y'all. She has not been involved with nobody else's ministry but her own, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm going to be even more loving and caring and compassionate about people, where people are on their journey. If you don't know anything, I'm going to be the one person in the world, like, yes, sis, or hey, bro, that's like, you're doing it, you're good. Walk, keep with him, stay with it, read your Bible. I'm not going to send you 30 videos. I'm not going to be all in your, no. Why? Because the same ruach that is waking people up is the same one that is preparing people.
I'm going to be your homegirl. I'm going to be your homegirl. You're going to be my homeboy. And you're going to be, right?
Not only that, I'm going to be a homegirl to you, and I'm going to be a homegirl to your husband, too. That's basically what she's saying, and that's what she's been doing. So now she's openly declaring what it is. Y'all better be careful. I'm telling you, as a warning, y'all better be careful. If y'all ever decide, and I hope not, but if I know people will, to go up on that mountain, y'all gonna see some stuff. And don't be shocked at it.
No, well, she's there to take your man while Nafisa's gonna take your woman. Yep. To keep your eyes off of her while she's talking to your man, trying to heal your relationship with him. Right? Y'all, I'm not playing. Y'all can't see it. Right? Broken woman.
And preparing the hearts of people to help you, to walk alongside you, to encourage you. Not just to tell you what they think or what they've researched. Your research is, in some spaces, real fickle.
That's her talking over people, that she's smarter in research. No, all her research is fickle, because she ain't come to know truth.
No, Yah doesn't have to be researched. The simplicity of who Yah is that he is. It's literally his name.
Wait. What is that? What is his name, Huldah? Watch this. Simplicity of Yah is that he is. He is his name. What is that, Huldah?
No. So, if you want to march in the wilderness, and if you want to keep believing the rhetoric and the fear and the hate and the pride that is pushed in a lot of circles, do you. That's your business, as Tabitha Brown would say. But for me, and that's not it. I'm going to walk with Yah, whatever that looks like. And if I fall and if I stumble, I can trust that Yah's going to pick me up. He's not going to kick me. He's not going to make videos about me.
Yes, he is. He's doing it right now. I'm kicking you right now. He's throwing stones. Yes, he is.
And what is that scripture in Psalms that says that Yah laughs? He's laughing at Huldah. He's laughing because he says, I know their end.
He's kicking you, Huldah. Not to mention that you already stumbled on the stone off that path. But yes, he will make videos about you, since you've been making videos about him for 7 years, calling it Torah.
He's not going to get me in spaces and try to tell me about myself. He's not going to tell me what.
Yes, he is. That's exact. Yeah, that space is called the wilderness, the cloud, and the prophet. Yes, he's going to get you in spaces to try to tell you about yourself. Yes, he will. She's a spoiled brat that don't want no judgment or nothing. But she's going to get her spanking. She's getting it right now.
She's walking like she's in profession.
Like she is. Like I am Elohim already.
Wait, watch the end of this. Y'all gonna see how my picture was so appropriate for this witch.
He said through somebody else.
Yes, he will. He always has. He is going to tell you what he said through his messengers. How could one hear unless they were sent? Or how could they preach unless they were sent? How could you hear unless someone preached? How could they preach unless they were sent? And how could they be sent if they really didn't see? What is she talking about? Yes, he would. I don't know who she's walking with, y'all, but it's not Yahweh, and it's not Yahushua, and it's not his Holy Spirit.
Yah's going to talk to me.
What? y'all problem is. Y'all hearing voices in your head. You think it's Yah, and you say Yah spoke to me. And here's a prophet telling you, no, he didn't. That's your own God.
Yes.
That's your own heart speaking. It's lying to you, and you know it's lying, but I'm going to give you over to that lying spirit and deceive you and deceive your wicked heart. Keep calling at me and watch me embarrass you with a video. Watch me keep pulling you in spaces that somebody's going to tell you about yourself. Yes. He's going to talk to her. Where? Let's see where he's going to do this. Let's see.
It says in Proverbs. It says Proverbs 18, verse 2. A fool hath no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself.
Listen to your heart.
Yah's going to talk.
Yah's going to talk to her.
And he's going to do it as I continue to walk with him and read his word. The word, by the way, is the lamp. It's the lamp in the wilderness. It's the pillar of fire. It's the covering. It's the cloud. That is what it is. We have it written down. We don't have to worry about looking up for that symbol. And the last thing on this recent journey, something I've stuck with and I've heard, it's been so profound, is when the inside of a vessel is broken, right?
Okay, hold on. Before we go into her, no, wait. But didn't she already admit that she was broken?
Yeah, she did.
She did, right? Did everybody hear that? She's talking about how she's broken, right? But y'all commissioned her by the voice and the spirit of the beginning to walk this journey. Y'all commissioned her, but she was broken from the beginning, right? Watch what she say.
And that's the person, the vessel, I guess, and a physical vessel. Physical vessel is broken. It can't hold contents. So if you've ever tried to play a broken guitar, guess what it doesn't do? It doesn't put out good sound. And if you try to listen to a broken vessel, it's not going to put out the fullness of the vibration of Yah.
So why y'all listening to her?
She just said, don't listen.
Why? Why would you listen to her when the last 24 minutes she's been explaining her brokenness and that she's not healed?
Here I am, like Eli, extremely broken, extremely fractured, trying to heal from a relational fracture. A lot of things that I need to work on. Trying to heal from a relational fracture.
But Yah does not talk to a broken vessel or speak clearly through a broken vessel. And that broken vessel cannot comprehend what they're hearing clearly. This don't make no sense. Man, Huldah, if you want to spank on your corner side, you need one. Man.
See, Yah's word is, you can't mix Yah's word. You may could mix New Ageism with Christianity with this and that, but Yah's pure, unextracted word, you can't mix because you're going to end up sounding real stupid.
You're going to set yourself up. Your own mouth is going to trap you into a snare, and that's what she's doing.
It's like Bonnie and Clyde, peas in the pod. Yoshi and Huldah, they still won.
What do Hebrews, people who call themselves Hebrews, black people, white people, brown people, yellow people, whoever you want to call yourself, what do we owe people, especially if you're online, especially if you have a platform? What do you owe people? You owe people to heal. You owe people to heal and not suppress and not be a broken vessel, because then they can't feel and hear the vibration of Yah. It has been a long, hard journey over the past 7 years, making sure that I try to keep this vessel whole.
Liar. You smoke weed, you smoke cigars, you've taken drugs, you've done hashish in the cookies, right? And you fornicated. You adultery. You eat out in every other restaurant, right? She wants to tell you about feast days, and we just found out that it only she learned how to make unleavened bread after 70 years, y'all. This girl don't make no sense. It's crazy.
Not to mention, she thinks very highly of herself, right? This is obvious. And she sets herself up in scenarios to put herself in the world, to put herself at concerts, to put herself at a celebrity's house, to put herself in the way to say, I'm doing the work. Yah has actually sent me here. Yah has actually put me here. But no, actually your flesh puts you here, and you think you're about to do something. You think you're about to do something, and you're going to use the word of Yah to actually cover for you. But eventually, what's going to end up showing is that you're full of idol worship, you're full of the world, and you're dirty. There's nothing about her that is pure. Nothing.
I call them nasty heifers.
By staying in tune and staying tuned into Yah. That is a continual journey and a continual path that I will not forsake. That is not it. I'm not going off. But what I am saying is I'm not walking and marching
She was never on, y'all. She was never on that path.
in the wilderness. I'm not going to listen to the false report of the spies that go into the land and say it is not time. I am going to do what I can right now. And I'll tell you this, the voice of Yah is heard from within. If your inside is broken, you can't hear Yah. His voice from without or within, you're not going to hear it. You have extremely broken, extremely fractured.
So she's broken. The voice of Yah is within. I don't know how she's hearing it. I really don't. Please make this make sense.
Huldah is that broken instrument that's making a really bad sound right now. As she's just described it, she's defined herself.
Have to heal. And if people are not showing you how to heal and they're just giving you historical videos and telling you that they're healing you or whatever, you're back at square one. And that's okay. Because back at square one is Yah. It's cyclical. You march around and you come back. Guess what? Yah's in the same place where
You know that's her excuse when she realized she just said something stupid and backwards, right? And that's she just realized that don't make no sense what I said. But you know that it's okay. Y'all cyclical because he'll start you back when you in. Yes, right. He gonna take you in circles in the wilderness because y'all cyclical. No, I think the what she called that cyclical motion is called lunacy. It's called crazy. Right? That's why we do circles, right? Because you're going in circles and you started right back. You ended off right back when you start. That's a dog chasing his tail. And she gonna call that Yah. She just described that y'all going in the wilderness in circles with your disobedience and pride and all of that. But that was Yah. Okay. All right.
you walked away from that. We have to heal. We have to heal our minds and our bodies. And it's in the Word, but also some of it we have to search for. And we have to partner up with, and we have to join in community, not just to join to put a tent next to each other, not just to join to eat a lamb dinner, no, to join together in healing, not to just join together and dance together, not just to join together and read together, not to join together and argue or disagree, but when we operate as one.
Okay, let me speak to this oneness. So like I said, Huldah is talentless, right? She has no real artistic gift. What she is an intellect. She went to college and learned to think like an intelligent stupid. And they come out, you know, our superstars and our leaders are all intellectuals now, right? And so they have made themselves superstars by intelligence. But that's talentless. Satan works through that. And she's made herself a superstar. And when you become a superstar, you're really the broken one that's looking for love all the time. I know this as a talent, and I used to be in that world. And you get so high, it's lonely at the top, y'all. It's lonely at the top. And she put herself at the top and everybody beneath her, right? And everyone has to follow her, so she's always looking behind because she's lonely. This woman is a lonely piece of wreck right now, and she's looking for love. And when you become an idol like that, you start to realize that it's empty love, right? When your brokenness comes to manifestation again, right? You look around and be like, who loves me? There's nobody there but that dyke on the mountain. And so she's lonely. She's lonely, but she's a mama. Go raise your kids, woman. Go spend some time with your daughters and raise your kids, right? Go, what? They just experienced a divorce with their daddy because of your lewdness. Go heal your family. Stop talking about other people. Nobody need to build a community with you in your broken house. And so she's lonely now. And she's begging for love. He's begging for money. She don't have to beg for your money. She got it. It's flowing. Yeah, it's flowing. Oh, it's all right to hear my loud voice, right? But all you're gonna see here is that sob story begging for love. Watch this description of love. There is no description at all. Love me, love me, love me. Girl, you better get off that high mountain. It's lonely at the top. Yes, it is. It's a long way down. It's called purgatory. The thing that you called yourself, right? Right?
Unified. Then the healing can reverberate, but it takes one person to do it. And so for all the people who've made it this far, it's like, oh, Huldah has lost it.
She said it takes one person to do it. She unified with herself.
You know, and this is why it's important for us to seek Yahshua in all things, to seek him for our healing that she keeps talking about. And not once have I heard her say anything about Yahshua's yoke being easy and his burden being light, seeking him, abiding in him, drawing close to him, following him, loving him so he can love you. I don't hear, and it's interesting because I don't think I've ever heard it.
No. And she talk about read the scriptures, read the Torah, right? Seek the Torah, read the scriptures, talk about read the scriptures. But Yahshua said, right, you search the scriptures because in them you think you find what? Eternal life. But you won't turn to me. And that's what she's still doing. She still won't turn to him. She don't like his order. She don't like his order.
Abraham must have lost it too.
Nigga, rat, you better not compare. No, you not. Abraham must have lost it too, cause she knows she crazy now. That we say she must have lost it, but Abraham must have lost it too. Abraham did not float out by himself on the top of a mountain. No, he didn't.
It was just him, and Yah said, Lech lecha.
No, it wasn't just him.
He said, go for you, and that's what I'm doing.
Go for you. She's playing with the word Lech lecha. No, he wasn't telling Abraham, go for you.
No.
Right? That's her misunderstanding the Hebrew too. Like I said, she's literally translating it, go for you, right? But that's not what y'all was saying, because you could play with that. That sounds like Satan's message, right? Do as thou will. Do you. Do you. And that's what I'm going to do. No, Abraham didn't do him. He did Yah. He was clear about the voice that he was hearing. And people don't know Abraham's whole story, that it didn't just come out the sky, that he was taught by his great-great-grandfather for the years that he was from underneath his father's house, which was Shem, high priest, that Melchizedek.
I'm going for me, and in the process of going for me, I hope that Yah allows me to journey into spaces, into all spaces with all people of all faiths, and they get to see what
everything y'all.
Exactly what I just said. Exactly. Come on, y'all. Y'all get tired. I know.
This is exactly what she's saying, that I'm going to walk into all spaces. Basically, I'm gonna go where I want to go, right? I'm gonna
the world.
The world. Meet all people. I'm gonna run into all people. That means what? Learning other things, learning as the other people do. There's nothing about what she's saying that's saying I'm going to be set apart and holy. Everything she's actually showing her that she can be influenced. She's showing her susceptibility to say, oh, this looks good. I'm going to go over here and do this. That's one of the reasons why when you see her image, one day she'll have a veil on or a wrap on or whatever, a talit, right? But the next day she'll have long eyelashes and nails and things like that. One day she'll be doing a conference to Yahuwah, right? Doing some type of conference. The next one should be going to a concert of, I don't know. But y'all know what I'm saying. It's showing double-mindedness. And there's no stability in anything that she's saying.
She's definitely been influenced because whatever spirit came to her, Spirit. She never tried it by the Spirit.
Broad is the way to destruction. And we are on the ancient path. And the ancient path gets narrower and narrower. And we also have to continue to shed off. And as the shedding process continues with us, that means we have to become more and more like the Hamashiach, Yahshua.
Psalms 1 speaks to what Huldah's just been talking about. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the unrighteous, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth its fruit in its season. His leaf shall not wither, and whatsoever he does shall prosper. And this next part speaks to Huldah. The unrighteous are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind drives away. Therefore the unrighteous shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahweh knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the unrighteous shall perish.
So anybody know where the congregation of the righteous is going to be? Where?
In the wilderness.
Where's the righteous of the congregation is destined to be?
In the wilderness.
Okay, so you said that the wicked shall not stand in the congregation, right? Watch this. Watch how she declare it.
Yah is doing through me and my life, and it is a light. I want to be a light. I don't want to hide out. I don't want to.
What I said. Light and darkness.
Walk away from Yah. I love all of the people that I've met as I've journeyed on this path, and even the ones that it didn't work out so favorably.
Did she love you? Well,
She just said she didn't like the Hebrew.
yeah.
Now she's talking about those that she's personally come into her circle, into her family. Now she's trying to catch her back again on this pedestal, right?
But we just read what? We just read that, ultimately the righteous cannot be in the same place as the wicked, and the wicked cannot be in the same place as the right. And I'm not counting myself to be righteous all the way, but I recognized when I saw her, I didn't want to be that. And I didn't want to walk with someone like that. And regardless of any feelings that I had about the scenario and how it went down, I knew that I had to go where Yah was telling me to go, which was off the YouTube, shut it off, take it off, turn to me, and let me humble you. And what she's doing is not humble, is not contrite, is not repentant, and it's not something that anybody should model after. And anyone who wants to model after her, just like Lauren has said, she wants to be her. Siona just testified that she actually wanted to be her, deserves the judgment of Yah that she's going to get.
So anybody who may be interested in following such a thing, don't err on the side of caution. Leviticus 20:6, and the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a-whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among the people. Hallelujah.
Dividing time.
But what I do know is I'm going to keep walking. And while everyone else seems to be marching in a circle and we're eating and nipping and biting at one another, I'm just going to walk right through, keep my eyes fixed on Yah and what he has for me. I'm going to learn who he is, and I'm not going to be like, oh, this is his name, because, I put this out there too. Yahuwah, I don't know. So those are some things I need to say that because there's videos back, and so I might be like, well, you said this, so I'm doing this. Like, I don't know. Yahuwah, I don't know. I need to say that because there's videos back, and so I might be like, well, you said this, so I'm doing this. Right now, you have all these people. His name is Yah-Oh, it's Yahuwah, it's Yahweh, it's Yahweh, 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 Yahweh.
So this is like, see, and this.
It's all of us making these prideful declarations as to what his name is, and not a single person is walking in his character. Yahuwah, I don't know. So those are some things. I need to say that because there's videos back. So I might be like, well, you said this, so I'm doing this. Like, I don't know.
This was a great opportunity for her to take a moment and repent from everything that she's profited off of, which is what? Yahuwah. The name. She's profited on that the whole entire time. But now she wants to say, I don't know. That's a really smug response. And so what I was mentioning before, as far as the people who are, logged into this live chat, no one questioned anything she said. No one judged anything she said. All of it was just a social movement. Hashtag Hebrew purgatory. Hashtag I'm gonna heal. Hashtag, because that's what they do. They use all of this stuff and they go on social media and they make memes and they make t-shirts and it's just another thing. It's another thing. And that's the most damnable thing about her making herself a Elohim, because people are quoting Huldah Dauid and not Yahshua. So she's actually shoving Yahshua out the side and saying, look at me. Walk in my way. Walk in my light. I am the lamp and the light.
His authority. Yeah, everything.
I'm not claiming to know it all. I don't have all the answers, Way. Like, I don't know. I know when I read and when I teach Hebrew class, is not it.
I know when I read and I teach Hebrew class. I don't know it all. I don't know it all. But I know when I read. You know what she's talking about when I read, right? So, and I teach Hebrew classes. And y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, this girl just started to learn Hebrew proper. Reading dictionaries and breaking down words through dictionaries and whatever, all of this stuff that she's been reading does not mean Hebrew. She does not know and that's why she's coming to this point about Yahuwah. You're going to hear it now, right? And so now she's realizing that she didn't know what she was talking about the whole time, but she won't really say it. But she knows this is the one thing that can be really used against her, because she stood so strong on Yahuwah. And that it was Yahuwah that she heard. And that it was Yahuwah that sent her.
Yahuwah who's healing her.
And Yahuwah who was healing her. But she said those that argue, didn't she say those that argue over his name, right, have made themselves guard? But now she want to go into what? The argument. Based on what? Her intellectual knowledge of what she's trying to learn now, which is Hebrew. And now she's teaching, right? And what she's teaching most likely is true Hebrew, because she's saying that they're going to learn. There's no other thing to learn but Hebrew. What I've been saying the whole time. But she didn't know Hebrew. That's how but she going to make money off of y'all anyway. Okay.
I will continue to teach Hebrew because Hebrew is a part of healing. When you guys...
Hebrew is a part of healing. No, it's not.
For her though, because it's for her though, because she could profit off of it. I could get more money, right? That's a part of my healing, because honestly, that's all I got. Hebrew won't let me down.
I'm somebody.
I circle around and you march through Hebrew purgatory a couple of times and you realize it's not Bantu and the Paleo is not a spoken language.
Didn't I say that? Didn't I say that? I've been saying that Paleo is not a spoken language, y'all. Doesn't exist. But yet, she was what? Teaching Paleo Hebrew the whole time and calling it her mission, your salvation, the truth, the way, and the light, right? But she's going to keep on teaching Hebrew, though. But now she realized what she's been teaching is lies, but she's not really going to say it. She's talking to them like y'all have been fooled. Right? Right? Talking down to the people because they have been fooled by your lies. You can keep on being fooled by people like me. You can keep on listening to people like me, but when you realize that I didn't know what I was talking about, watch what she said. When you realize this, you can come back to me.
I'll be around, yeah. That's perfect. I'll be around. I'll be around.
You can come back to me when you realize that y'all didn't know anything that I was teaching. You can come back to me.
To be fooled again.
But ain't this like classic? And I know a lot of us say it all the time, but hey, it is the truth in this matter. classic narcissism
Yes.
that will point the blame at you when you are sought out, when you're found out. There is still no repentance in anything she has going on. But she's just gonna glaze it over. Just gonna glaze it over though,
Yeah.
you know.
Not real, not true. Yep.
Keep out, listen.
But I'm not marching anymore. I'm moving forward. I'm moving forward.
So this is ultimately
7 years or 10 years when you've
this is
marched,
ultimately
and when
her
you're
making
really-
a public decision. This is basically her public declaration. Everything she does from here on out is now her true self. She's coming out with it, and this is what it is. And so this is one of the reasons why seeing somebody like Lauren is important, because she's actually showing you very plain what she's about to do. And y'all better be careful.
No, but what? She got up there. What's her next message after this? She want to get up here now and bash. Right now, she's one that talks about multiple marriage and men and broken and trauma again and broken women that have been broken by men. So you want to take women back down that lane
Yeah, let's go back.
and talk about multiple marriage. No, that wasn't part of your ministry. So why are you talking about it? However, Huldah was, right? No, it is right to take people back down broken lane and find blame.
And when you're in the wilderness and you're looking for an oasis, I pray that Yah has brought me to a place where.
And when you're in the wilderness, I pray that Yah has brought me to a place, right? So y'all can come back to me. Watch what she's.
You can have rest and refuge as you continue on. Not to stop, not to be where I am, but to have rest and refuge as you continue on with this journey. Every day is a different day. We don't have forever. We plan like we do, but we don't. We have today and we have right now. And our choices today and right now can determine our eternity. So if you're waiting, you're like, I don't know, right now is the time to say, I choose you, Elohim. I choose you, God. I choose you, Yah. I choose you right now. And I'm putting.
What she didn't choose is Yahweh, Yahshua. She's choosing God, and Elohim is a generic term for powers.
Putting my faith and my trust in you and nobody else, and I'm going to trust you and leave the consequences to you. Because if I trust man, I have to take the consequence of man. But if I trust you and I've heard your voice, then guide me. And then along the journey, help me to find those who have become oases in the wilderness, who have become a refuge in the desert. Look for that. Look for that. This is not an intellectual thing. You're not going to learn your.
She talking backwards like, help me, help you, help me, help you. Which one she talking about? Who's the oasis now? You keep talking to like you're the one that's going through the wilderness to find oasis, but you keep talking about you're the oasis that people need to find. She's all over the place.
Way to Yah. Trust me. I know. I tried. You're not going to read and everything you read is like a study and I'm gonna find the nope, I'm simple. I'm back to simplicity. I'm just like, if it's like, hold it simple. Yeah, simple. I believe God is who he is. I believe a part of his name is Yah or Yod-He. I believe that the Messiah came and died and was risen again. Oh, do I believe that? For the propitiation of my sin, but I can no longer continue in my sin. I believe that.
Stop, hold on. Don't tell me what you believe. Tell me what you have received.
I believe that I have to walk in the laws, statutes, and commandments because they are life.
What are those?
Right. That I'd like to know, because for all that time I ain't seen nothing. I've seen a form of worship, but a denying from start to finish. And I can only imagine what she has, what does Paul say, been matured in, and how mature her sin has become, right? Because she's a lot more slicker and smarter now. But ultimately, I have yet to hear any Torah, any application of Torah, any set apartness, any Yehoshua, and anything again, even now as she's saying. And these are these opportunities that we're supposed to be taking to do so. And every time these people press record, they get up there and they say vain words, and they get the money and they receive their reward. They're receiving the reward here on earth.
What are you saying? So you say you believe in Messiah, right? And all of that. The demons believe that too. Right. And tremble. And so but they're not gonna repent though. They scared of his coming. They don't want to go to purgatory. They believe in Yahshua. They were the first ones that recognized him when he came on the scene. You're Yahshua, the son of Elohim. I believe in you. The demons believe that too. And they tremble. But they're not going to repent. That's the difference.
I believe that. I believe I am going to be healed and restored 1,000,000 times because the world is broken and broken things break people.
What?
This is basically herself giving herself a pass now that she's no longer married. That sounds like that type of speech. I'm going to heal. But now I'm about to be buck wild. That's basically what that sounds like. I'm no longer going to be restrained by order, by authority, by accountability. I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm only going to bring people who in my circle to allow me to do that. No challenges.
I believe that. I believe that those who are disenfranchised have a space in Yah's word, whether blood-born or grafted in, and that all faiths will be drawn by the one who was lifted up on the tree, but also by those who carry the truth and the testimony of who that is as well. I don't believe the world's coming to an end tomorrow, but if it does, I'm going to stay on the path, and I'm going to stay walking with Yah. I want to be so close to Yah that when the world is falling apart, all I can do is say yes and amen. That's where I am. That's where I am. That's where I am. And
we see those things in the movie.
Grafted in, and that all faiths will be drawn by the one who was lifted up on the tree, but also by those who carry the truth and the testimony of who that is as well. I don't believe the world's coming to an end tomorrow, but if it does, I'm going to stay on the path, and I'm going to stay walking with Yah. I want to be so close to Yah that when the world is falling apart, all I can do is say yes and amen. That's where I am. That's where I am. That's where I am.
Basically, when everything goes down, I'm going to be protected.
That's right.
When everything goes down,
I'm going to disappear into the spirit of Yah. We're going to be. She's going to poof. Yes. That I am. Nothing's going to touch me.
Here in Babylon.
Yep. That's what she's saying. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm building my fortress.
Yeah.
Now.
I'm building my fortress. I'm building my, not Yah. Not Yah is telling me to come out of her now and partake not into her plagues. But I am going to disannul Yah's word. I'm going to make my own thing. And it's going to stand because I'm making it. Like, how high-minded can someone be to speak against Yah, to speak against Yah's promise and his truth like that? Be careful.
Okay, watch.
My hope and prayer, as it was for Paul, is my hope and prayer for Israel, both blood-born and grafted, is that all Israel might be saved, that we might be redeemed, that we endure to the end. That is my hope and prayer. So the last thing is, I'm sitting inside, so I was sitting outside. This space that you see, this is the beginning of that healing.
This is the beginning of her healing. Her own wilderness, y'all. She already said she's not going to the wilderness.
This is the beginning. This is my physical place of restoration. This is this.
Y'all. And y'all bought it for her too. Y'all bought it for her.
Space we are working on, the Royal Roots crew and every crew after that to come. This is it. This is my oasis in the wilderness. And we are going to develop it. And it's going to become a space where I can sit on a hilltop and be a light.
I can't.
Listen, this is utter blasphemy.
Y'all can see why the picture in the beginning
Utter
is, right?
blasphemy.
Right? She's a broken Medusa, priestess, here in her own head on the mountain. On the top of a mountain, she's on the top, the highest mountain, broken Medusa, talking about she's gonna be a light, and she's gonna build her temple up there. And y'all can flow to her. This is blasphemy. That's what she's saying, y'all. Okay, I'll play back. Hold on. And y'all can come to me, any other crew that want to follow me dedicated.
Right.
I won't judge you.
I've laid out my Torah, right? And for those who, even before, remember the lit agreement that she did on Patreon, those who agree to my covenant, you can follow me here. Choose me today whom you will serve.
Yep. Absolutely. Let's hear it again.
The Royal Roots crew and every crew after that to come. This is it. This is my oasis in the wilderness, and we are going to develop it. And the Royal Roots crew and every. So this is the beginning. This is my physical place of restoration. This is the space we are working on. The Royal Roots crew and every crew after that to come. This is it. This is my oasis in the wilderness, and we are going to develop it. And it's going to become a space where I can sit on a hilltop and be a light.
Y'all speechless. Look, they speechless, y'all.
Now this is people being given over. This is
Over to a reprobate mind. Yeah, because she's speaking what she's speaking, her vision, which is against Yah's vision, with such conviction.
In the name of God. Not in the name of God, in the name of God.
In the name of God. Yeah. So she, from what I'm seeing, is she has declared herself an anti-Messiah. She is
Declare herself a Messiah.
a Messiah, which is another Messiah, which is like an. She's replacing. She's replacing Messiah in the minds and hearts of people and creating a different vision for them to follow. And this is just utter wickedness.
And I'm pretty sure she has her 12 apostles, right? We already see her, what would you call her? Her Peter, right? We already see the one that's gonna ride and die for her, because literally Lauren moved in when all that stuff was happening on the YouTube, when it could have been a decision. She said, like, you know what, I don't want this, it's not of Yah, and she could have literally turned back to her father's house. But Lauren didn't. She stayed during all of that when Yah was revealing, right, that these were extortioners, that these are slanders, that all of that stuff that was happening. Lauren had an opportunity to repent and turn to Yah and be like, you know what, let me knock it off. I'm in idol worship. But she actually forwarded her lust and her desires and say, oh no, well, I'm going to do this. And so, believe it or not, that showed that Huldah saw that as you are my BFF for life and to death.
A husband in the flesh. Okay, let's finish this up.
And you'll know where to find me. You'll know where to come. You know where to come.
And you'll know where to find me.
If you've been on Patreon, you've seen the videos, you've seen the animals of restoration. This is the space we are working on. The Royal Roots crew and every crew after that to come. This is it. This is my oasis in the wilderness, and we are going to develop it, and it's going to become a space.
That's what I just said. So I was like, is she the oasis or she the one wandering in the wilderness? She said, when y'all finish wandering in the wilderness in circles, come to my oasis. At the top of the mountain, I'm going to be a light to help heal you at the top of the mountain.
I can sit on a hilltop.
That area, that's where we used to live, right around where we used to live.
Oh, that's where the gold is? Okay. It's gonna go down in fire. It's gonna go down, y'all. The heat wave is coming. Didn't y'all hear Satan announce it? It's coming. Right? Global warming. She's gonna get burnt up at that mountain. She's gonna be trapped. Watch.
And you'll know where to find me.
And you'll know where to find me.
You'll know where to come. You know where to come. And so, if you've been on Patreon, you've seen the videos, you've seen the animals, you've seen what we're starting to do, and this is what we're doing. This is what it is.
And this is what they do. They glamorize everything they do, right? They don't show the real of what's going on, which is complete and utter chaos. It's similar to this the deception of social media, how you would put nothing but the good up there. Meanwhile, your life is in shambles. And this is the ploy again. And this is how I know this is going to end in destruction, because this is what she did before. It ended in destruction. What she did before that ended in destruction. And this is like, yeah, I could see him being like, you know what? This is it.
This is how she can go. She gonna fall, y'all. Watch this. This is it. There's nowhere else to go after this, boy.
She set herself up.
Oh, yes, she has set herself up. And Yah has the deem how far she gonna fall.
Thank you guys for all the time, for those who've watched over the years, those who will continue on the journey. Thank you. And I trust that Yah will do the same work that he is doing in me with all of you, because our goal at the end of this life is to reconnect, to go back, to be drawn to be reabsorbed into, if you will, into the one who gave us this life and who has been the source from the beginning. I want to reconnect now. I want to live this life truthfully and abundantly. I don't want to be afraid of the world. I want to be like Messiah. That's our goal. That should be it. We are supposed to look at him and strive to be what he was. We should be healing and going into spaces and helping those who are lost. Not.
I want to be like Messiah, but she's not speaking. She's speaking from the high position that he was, the healer, the preacher, the teacher, the prophet, right? And she's out of order.
I was going to say, isn't it similar to Simon, the sorcerer?
Simon the sorcerer.
Right? He saw that the Holy Spirit was doing a powerful thing.
Yeah.
And through the lust and the witchcraft in his own heart, he inquired.
God in his heart. That's right. And he believed. He got baptized and everything in the true name. He believed. And the people thought he was great. But when he saw the power of Yahshua working through, I want to be like that.
Shunning them, not hurting them, not creating blocks for them. So I want you guys to be whole, be blessed, get outside, get some sun, take a hike, do something fun, trust Yah, walk in what he's told you thus far, and get quiet, get still, and listen to.
Not repent, not shed the ways of your flesh, not do any deep reflection and truly turn to Yah, not fall on your knees and cry out and pray. But have some fun. Go outside.
Nature.
Come visit me. Follow me on Patreon. It's wicked.
Wicked. Wicked lies. Wicked lies. You know that song? No. Oh. Alpha Blondie.
If sin is the dividing line, right? If sin is the dividing line, her sin both is overstepping that line and failing to reach it at the same time.
Man, what? There's got to be a better word than pride. Something stronger.
Arrogance.
Conceit.
Spoiled, brat, conceited. She's crazy though, y'all. She's a lunatic. This woman is out of her mind.
Egotistical. I mean,
She's a lunatic.
His voice above all other voices. I recommend turning it all off. Honestly, turn it off and just hear him. And when you come back and
I recommend turn it off from everybody. You know what she's saying? Stop listening to anybody else and come and listen to me. Come to me.
Now,
The word he was looking for,
Sealed.
She's sealed.
Now, I feel like I have to speak to the Patreon scenario, because some people will look at me and say, well, you being a hypocrite, because aren't you on Patreon too? But see, I remember when it was introduced to me, Patreon was actually introduced to me through a conversation that I had. And it was because I was doing music, something that ultimately people are buying a product that it was acceptable. It still is acceptable. But what she's doing and what Yoshi is doing, as far as having people go on Patreon to pay to see a person, to pay to receive the word, to pay to see someone's life, their insides and out, that is complete idol worship, and it's actually turning aside what Yah has actually, it's actually making making evil what Yah can make for good when you do it the way that he's asking you and telling you in righteousness. Thank you. And so when it's ordered, right, when it's not fleecing, when it's not manipulating and taking from, but it's actually putting towards and putting in the work that you're using the platform for, then Yah will bless it. And this is the portion to me that I got to speak to, because what they're doing and the fact that people are I think I remember seeing, and she had like over 300 people on her Patreon. She's making thousands. That's thousands of dollars right there. She ain't doing a job. She ain't going to work.
She ain't
raising her children. She's just taking the money. And what is she doing? Going on.
And asking y'all to come and work her land like slaves for her, right? Because she ain't gonna do that by herself. She ain't gonna let you eat none of her goats either, y'all. You're gonna take care of her kids, and you're gonna take care of her kids. And you're gonna serve her on that mountain. She's gonna just order y'all around the mountain what to do to build her palace.
Meanwhile, while those who are actually doing the work, who are doing the work, doing the inside work, who are repenting and confessing, I'm speaking for myself, we're actually not necessarily begging, but almost having to beg people to donate, to give, because ultimately nothing in this world is for free, but they're giving to a cause that's complete vanity. It ain't got nothing to do with Yah.
And all that money that she gained in the name of Yahuwah, she need to give back. Mm-hmm. All of that swore that she was sent by Yahuwah and doing the work of the true Yahuwah, she need to get all of those millions back. Mm-hmm. No. Just follow her Patreon on her wilderness journey.
Turn it on, see if the frequency has changed. It's kind of like when you gave up certain foods like pork and shellfish, and if you tried to go back and eat it later and it made you sick, see if some of this Hebrew purgatory will make you sick when you go back and eat it and drink it after you stop for a while. And then see if you kind of understand where I am.
No, let me tell you, what's making her sick is that she's seeing that there's a dividing line, and Satan is fighting Satan, demons are fighting demons, and prophets is fighting demons, and people getting cut on the battleground. And she's a little child, right, that came out here thinking she's gonna swing words, but she can't swing swords. No, she's not equipped for this battle, right? And so she wants to jump out now. No, you're not. You're gonna get your head chopped off. You're not getting out of Hebrew purgatory because you helped build it. She's not getting out, and y'all's never gonna let her out.
Until then, I look forward to what's next. I look forward to what's next for all of you. For everybody who this video reaches, it's okay. It's okay to walk with Yah. It's okay to be where Yah is. It's okay when he pauses to pause. It's okay not to march in circles. It's okay to have doubt in people and to have doubt in where they're going. It's just not okay to have doubt in Yah and to stay where they are when he is moving forward and when he is telling you to shine, to shine, to shine. Shine your light. Shine your light. Last, Messiah said, how will they know who you are? And Hebrews are like fringes. Shalom. Say shalom. Learn Hebrew. Go to Sukkot. Get a camp. Don't forsake the... No. You will know, and they will know who you are when you love one another. Love. That is it. That's the one thing that I think in Hebrew purgatory is missing. It's the love. It's not to be like, I love you because I'm telling you the truth. Okay. Love me like Messiah loved me.
Please describe this Messiah. Describe this love that Messiah loved his apostles. How did he love them? With judgment. How did he love his people? He healed them, right? He healed them, but they had to do what? Repent and believe. Sin no more and believe in him. And so there was someone that had to come along that was a prophet and a priest by the name of Yohanan that had to prepare that way to all of those people before they could even accept him. And that's what she's trying to remove out the picture. The ones that Yah sent, the prophet that Yah sent before him. to pave that way, and it's not her. And she refuses to listen to the ones that Yah sends before him as a call to repentance. Yeah,
Right, and get out of the way.
that's right.
Teach me, like Messiah taught me. Love, love, love. And what is love? Love is not ambiguous. Love is not
Ambiguous. This,
She's been speaking in ambiguity the whole time. Just words, like, what are you saying? You say what you mean and mean what you say. Yeah, is that he don't talk like that. No. If anything, he repeats himself to make sure that the first, second time you didn't get it, you don't get it. Right. You gonna get it.
love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. I mean, come on now. Oh my goodness, I can't.
You know, the scriptures make it very clear. If you love Yah, you will keep his commandments. It's defined very simply.
I'm in. No, she's just gonna be your homegirl. You can come. Not gonna judge you.
what you think love is. Love is, I'm telling you the truth. Love is when I want.
She's saying love is, I'm telling the truth. No, no, no.
Right.
Love is not, no.
Right. Hey.
For you, what I want for myself.
I want for you what I want for myself. What she want for herself, y'all?
The glory,
The glory, the power, and the money, and freedom, and no authority.
idolatry,
And
to be Elohim.
yes, to be Elohim, to come up to the mountain, be Elohim with me. She wants you to come into idolatry with her. Right? And what she's really saying, love is, I want you to be mini me. Walk in my image. I want for you what I want for me.
Yeah. Do what you want to do. No sin.
When I see you as I see myself, when you don't have, then I give you what I have because I have it.
When I see you as I see myself, let me tell you, this is New Age talk.
Right.
It sounds biblical, right? No, what she's really saying is when I see in you, me. When I see me in you,
To choose you.
then I can love you. Now, I know the New Age talk. This is not the word, y'all. Right? There's no scripture that talks like that. You didn't even say when you see Yahshua in them.
When I see you as I see me. When I see you.
As I said, in her likeness. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This New Age talk. It sounds good, but it's not the word. It's absolutely idol worship. She's saying, when I can see me in you, I love you. When my image as me is in my likeness and in my image, when I see my likeness and my image in you, y'all, that's New Age talk. That's not Bible. That's not Bible. The only thing in you and me is when Yahshua said, I am in Yahshua, he is in me. I am in you, and y'all are in me. Y'all can't be inside each other without being inside of me. Oh, I see you. That's like when I see the God in you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, when I see the God in
The
you.
G-O-D in me recognize the G-O-D in you.
Yes.
Yeah.
As I see me. That is love. And so what love wants, I want you to be like I endeavor to.
That is not love. And nowhere in the Torah does that say that's love.
I want you to be whole. I want you to hear Yah so clearly that it makes you fall on your face in reverence. I want you to know that. I want you to hear that. I want you to feel that. I want you to believe that. And I want you to go for that. And I want you to.
But you got to understand, like I said, the devil could throw those things. I want you to hear Yah so clearly that you fall on your face. But she's just ascribed to you by which voice you're going to hear that. The oasis in the wilderness. Yes. And come to me. Come to me. Because I'm going to be that light on the mountain.
To go for you as hard as you possibly can. Because if self-love, which is true, it is, not selfish, the love of self is high. And if you're broken, you can't even love Yah. So we have to trust Yah to heal us, trust Yah to do the work.
So if you're broken, you can't even love Yah. That's a true statement, but she's broken. Let Lakat, man, that's Satan's message in a slick way.
But see, but that's the thing though, and this is a part of my testimony. When you are broken, not you can't love Yah, but you can come to Yah and say, I need help, fix me. Yah, cry out to him, right? What she's saying is literally throwing Yah off the table. What she's saying is literally throwing you off the path to I'm not talking about this ambiguous healing, this cyclical healing that she talks about year to year to year, talking about trauma. I'm talking about finally dead it. You no longer going back that way, you going forward, and there's only Yahshua in the front. It's no longer you looking at yourself. It's no longer you looking and blaming you know who did what to you, or no longer looking back and saying, I think I missed that. No, it's walking forward in Yahshua and say, and being a testimony. And being a testimony to that, not to yourself, not to say, oh, well, who, because she's setting herself up almost similar to Yaki, to say, Huldah healed me. To have testimonials of Huldah sayings.
Huldah retreat.
That's what's happening. That's what she about to do.
There is a level of brokenness
That you have to come, because we all broken, right? And Yah knows that. And so if you are truly in your heart seeking righteousness, and you truly are waiting on Yah to give you an answer, he will come. I trust me in Yahushua. He will come and he will make it all straight.
You know she ain't gonna like you talking, right? She ain't gonna like you teaching her right now. So who the hell she thinks she is? You know that, right?
Praise Yah. Blessings to Yah. Blessings to Yah.
Because it's the truth.
And nothing but it.
Amen.
Do the work that he started in the beginning, which is to make us in the likeness and the image of him, which is love, the love that sits back.
You see how she talking about it? So it's one message, and then she throw Yah in there. And then she says something different than that.
Back and watches all that's happening in the world patiently, knowing that the journey is not yet over, and standing in the way and helping and hoping for better and doing and giving the tools for better. That's love. That's love. It's not to keep you where I am, but it's so you can go beyond where I am, where I've been. Go further. Spread your wings wider. That's it. So with that love, I love you. Like love you guys. Like brings me to tears. Love you guys. And I want what I want for me, for you. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to be what I hear Yah calling me to be. And I pray that in the process, there is that for you as well. Love you. Shalom.
I'm gonna leave that and be like, Huldah loves me. You know how crazy that is? Not only to say that to people on a YouTube that you don't even know, but there's people who believe that, who left out of there actually going on her Patreon and say, I'm becoming a member today. That's not her job. That's Yahushua's job. That when you hear the word of Yah, you know it to be true, and you know that it's doing something in you to break you, but not necessarily to break you down, but to eventually build you up. You turn to Yahushua and be like, I bet everything on you, Yah. I bet everything on Yahushua. But she's setting herself up to be Yahushua.
All right, Israel. So you can see why this picture is very appropriate, context appropriate to what I'm saying. She's grabbing her heart. Come to my bosom. She's got makeup on. Egyptian queendom. Right? All the jewelry and lustful eyes and she has the white robe on like a priest. She has established her temple at the top, in the highest mountain of the valley. She summons you and beckons you to come to her. But underneath y'all, she's a snake. And she speaks as a snake, and she's come to sting you with her tail. Y'all, this is idol worship from the beginning to the end, from her first call to the last. It's not the Holy Spirit. She's sealed. She's a lunatic. She's crazy, right? She's crazy. She's lost it, but she's trying to keep it together for you. And she's going to blame the whole world. for being her own predator. She gonna go on a man tantrum. She gonna tell you to stop, let people draw you back into your trauma. But what you see on the next video, right? Her talking about female trauma and sexual trauma from men dogging us and all of this other stuff and multiple marriages. And so she wanna go in because she's mad with the men now. She's mad with her husband. She wanna dog all Hebrew Israelite brothers now, out of context, and not bear her own shame for being a whore. I showed you Yoshi. Yoshi is a pimp. He's gonna remain a pimp. They both unrepentant. They're both sealed, and y'all smacking them both. They both getting it.
Yeah.
And all of those other people that I declared that y'all's gonna get for speaking against the wilderness, against his message, against his plan of salvation, and that have made themselves Elohim in the voice of Yah, speaking lies and deceit to the people to veer them off the path. She's a witch. She's a witch. She was a witch from the beginning to the end. She's wicked. She's nasty. And there's more testimony about her, y'all. There's more. But this woman is not a victim. She's a predator. She's a wolf. She's fleeced you. She's continued to fleece you while acting like she's naked with no clothes on, right? Anything that y'all else got to say? I know y'all got stories. We're not going to go into all the stories. Let me tell you something. They can bear witness to much wickedness. We know what Huldah did to Malcolm on the mountain. She saw this woman on the mountain, this demon. You know, we know. I always knew. But no, you're not going to get out of the purgatory that you helped build and go build another one. You want to remain in that purgatory that you built. And everybody that's in Hebrew purgatory is who you brought into it with you. You was never part of the Hebrew Israelite community. Stop it. You just mad because you got dogged. You got called out. And you're going to continue to get called out. So y'all, Israel, open your eyes and your ears. Open your eyes and your ears. I said those that mock Yah, he's mocking, he's going to laugh at them. He's going to make an example out of them. And he's going to tear down all your idols in Egypt and in Babylon before it goes down. And he's going to show you who I sent and who I didn't send. Is there something else y'all want to say? I'm done. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Well, not really my words, but Zephaniah 3, verses 1 to 5, I think speaks to this. I wanted to check with you if it does first. Go ahead. So Zephaniah chapter 3, verses 1 to 5. Woe to her who is rebellious and defiled, the oppressing city. She did not obey the voice. She did not accept instruction. She did not trust in Yahweh. She did not draw near to her Elohim. Her rulers in her midst are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They shall leave no bone until morning. Her prophets are reckless, treacherous men. Her priests have profaned the set-apart place. They have done violence to the Torah. Yahweh is righteous in her midst. He does no unrighteousness. Morning by morning, he brings his right ruling to light. It has not been lacking. Yet the unrighteous one knows no shame.
And that's what I got to say. Until then, Israel, I'm not finished. Y'all know what I came to do. I declared it from the beginning, and it's consistent. I'm on my straight path, moving forward in Yah. We're not building no high mountains. We're waiting at the foot of the mountain, through the wilderness, through the test of the fire and the water, waiting to meet our Yah when he comes down off that mountain. There's no woman that's coming down off the mountain, and there's no man that's coming down on the mountain declaring, I'm the light. In the name of Yah Yahshua Mashiach, may these words go out and judge righteously, because they are condemned by their words. And everyone that follows Yoshiyahu and Huldah the witch, the pimp and the prostitute, there shall be no idolater, no thief, no whoremonger, no homosexual, no extortioner, no covetousness that gets into the kingdom of heaven. And we are not going to accept perversion like this in Yah's house. So she can go back to purgatory. Selah.